Precisely kind of information do you want from the satellite? What do you want? What do you want?
Jet. Slowly out, slowly. Stand by Brent. Go Brent.
Well, a very good afternoon and welcome to the Great Lakes Centre for, of course, the Golden Gloves Boxing for 2021 from the Great Lakes Centre here in Taupo. A very warm welcome to you on Sky Sport Next, and joining me is one of my co-hosts for the whole weekend. This is Isaac Savage, and sitting on my left-hand side is Steve Hartley, of course, President of New Zealand Boxing. We've got a massive amount of amateur boxing coming up, Isaac, and it's going to be really exciting.
Mōri ora, e te whānau. Welcome to all those watching back home. 14 fights this afternoon and another 12 to 14 tonight. It's going to be an absolute showstopper.
So if you are in the Taupo region, it's at the Great Lakes Centre right in the heart of town. Come down and look at some of the best amateur boxing you're going to see in a very, very long time. And of course, we'll be talking to a number of people during the weekend, but we'll do, as we've been asked to do by the Boxing Association, is getting straight into it. So Steve, here we go again.
Yeah, mate, here we go again, the 37th annual Golden Gloves Boxing Champs, and I think everyone's pretty wound up and pretty excited about this one.
Right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to head down to our ring announcer, who's Kerry Aitken. Kerry, if you'd like to introduce the boxers to get our show underway.
Good afternoon, everybody. Session 1, Fight 1. Boxers to their corners, please. Fighting out of the red corner from Patatahi Boxing, Dan Larby.
Okay, give me camera 2, you got that? Camera 3, camera 3, cut 3.
Fighting out of the blue corner from Nabby's Gym in Hamilton, Ben Aitken. This is a junior men's 60 kilogram bout.
So a couple of these boxers, as we've got Isaac, we've got, of course, boxers from all over the place, and young Dan Larby, they've made a huge effort to get over here from Gisborne. They're a bit north of Gisborne, I understand.
Yeah, just outside of Gisborne. Both boys coming in at just on 60 kilograms. This is a 3 2-minute round, 3 2-minute round. Both boys ready to go. This is going to be an absolute banger of a fight, and we are certainly looking forward to this.
Yep. So Ben Aitken, of course, is fighting out of the blue corner, and Dan Larby in the red corner. So again, this is 3 2-minute rounds. These boxers, of course, we had over 200 entries coming into it. Of course, they've had to limit that down because of the sheer program. But I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that when the Nationals were on, it was huge.
Yeah, I think with that coverage and exposure last time, a lot of people got to watch it from New Zealand around the world. They were keen to jump on this card again. And like you said, it was an overwhelming response to this card here today in Taupo. Both boys starting off the show, 60 kilograms. They're in it to win it. This is going to be a great start to the afternoon. So
the seconds have been called out. As I say, these boxers haven't had a lot of fights. Young Ben has had only 5. And Dan Larby has had 9, so it'll be a reasonably close match-up. They're weighing exactly the same weight and about the same height as well.
Ben Aitken there in the blue, Larby in red. Both boys starting off relatively sharp. Barrage punches there from Ben Aitken there in the blue. Both boys keeping a very tight guard, nice and sharp starting off early.
And of course, we'll welcome into joining us is Steve Hartley, the president of Boxing New Zealand. And Steve, again, great to have you back here. And these young boxers, toe-to-toe already, straight into round 1. They don't muck around, do they?
Oh, no, it's great, mate. You know, this is their chance to get out and have a crack. You know, they've trained hard. It's a physical sport. They've got to be in top nick. And what we're seeing, though, with the youth in our boxing now, is these kids are becoming athletes at a very early age. You know, they're really putting the numbers in and the time in for doing their training, and we've seen a big uplift in the standard of the actual boxing. It's great.
And both these boxers are orthodox, but as I say, toe-to-toe. Referee, I'm afraid we don't have the referee's name on this one. Might be able to help me out.
Pretty sure it's Tyler. I was having a chat with them earlier, Tyler. We're going to come up with a nickname, but we'll just call him Tyler for now. He's had a few fights and he's just getting as much experience as he can here in the ring tonight. Very entertaining matchup so far. I mean, we're probably under 1 minute down, a little bit to go, 30 seconds, and a hard one to call. We never like to call these ones. What do you think of this first fight so far, Steve? It's action-packed.
There's nothing in it. You know, they're both trying different little things. But no, they're novices, and you know, they'll tidy up their game as time goes on. But they're having a go, and they're figuring out how to score points, which that's what it's all about.
Well, just when we think one's ahead, another one lands a shot. But I'm loving what I'm seeing here from blue. But red comes back again. Dan throwing those body shots fast and heavy. Hard one to choose. Not even going to try, Steve. Not even going to try. For all those watching back home, they're probably enjoying the action here on Sky Sport Next.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to. The thing being with these boxers, of course, they're getting trained really well, and they're putting in the yards. And now we've got boxers, as I say, from all over the Central North Island.
What a way to kick off the card. You know, they're starting off very steady and there's nothing in it. Like, I do not feel sorry for the judges in this one. They've got a hard afternoon and night ahead of them, and it's very, very close.
As we say, you're welcome to Sky Sport Next. If you've first time you've switched into this, it's fantastic to have you join us. As I say, we've got a magic weekend of boxing coming up. Starting, of course, this afternoon with our first bout, and then we run into the evening session, which starts at 5 o'clock. So we had about 14 fights in this first session, and then we have another 14 as well tonight.
Seconds down. Wow, it's round 2 now as we get back into the action. Not much in it. Nice, hard, heavy shots there starting off from Ben Aitken, bringing the aggression. As he comes forward, though, Dan likes to land a few body shots and stop him like he just did then.
It's quite deceptive on television as you're watching it now, but both these boys are quite tall.
They certainly are. You can still see Ben Aitken walking him down. Comes forward now. Dan Larby getting out of the way of most shots and then coming forward with aggression. But Ben Aitken seems to be walking down in this round. Nice little sneaky up out there. But Ben is just slightly quicker than the both of these fighters here today. Coming forward now, starting to once again walk him down, putting the scores on doors. But those shots there from Dan Larby just landing on the guard there of Ben Aitken.
Yeah, well, Dan Larby's he asked if he'd do a bit of a shout out to all his friends at the skate park. He said they won't be there this afternoon. They'll be linked into watching him fight, of course, out of the Tahi Boxing Club on the East Coast. And young Ben Aitken out of Nabbies. Now, they brought a number of boxers down for this weekend.
They certainly have, and it's always a popular gym. You know, they train a lot of fighters, a lot of prominent fighters too. Carter Wharido, who's fighting tomorrow. That's going to be an absolute stylistic matchup straight through to the final. I can't wait to see that. There's quite a few stars on this boxing weekend. In particular, too, Chad Milnes, who's fighting tomorrow, who's making his pro debut in a few weeks' time.
He did a
bit of blood there on Dan Larby. Not too bad. Just going to do a quick check-up, quick wipe. Safety first when it comes to the amateurs.
And that's what it is, Steve, isn't it?
Yep, definitely safety first. There's many layers. The referee is the first layer of safety. You know, the coach in the corner, he's watching it like a hawk. Then you've got the ringside doctor, and then of course on top of all that you've got the supervisor of the tournament, and he's watching like a hawk too. Don't worry about that.
Nice tight guard there from Ben Aitken. You know, he's walking forward, still taking punches, walking Dan Larby down. Nice body shot there from Ben. Beautiful body shot there from Ben Aitken. Again, Ben coming forward now. Almost hit after the bell, but Ben Larby slightly up on that round from me.
Yeah, of course, the big thing about this Golden Gloves is that we're going to start the long list for the Commonwealth Games out of this tournament. So, you know, as the event goes on, we're going to see the boys and girls pushing pretty hard to get a spot on that long list.
Of course, everyone's talking about, of course, some of the boxers that are trying to get to the Olympic Games up in Tokyo. Now, I'm not a gambling man, but I'd be saying it's going to be a little bit tricky for some of these guys trying to, qualify to get there.
Well, let's even ask the question: are the Olympic Games 100% on?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. No, they're definitely going ahead. Obviously, a very much revised format, and it's not going to be a real pleasant environment for the athletes. It's going to be pretty tight, and they won't be able to do the usual party up and stuff they do when So there's a bit of disappointment there, but no, a lot of protocols and procedures to go through, but it is happening. And at this stage, we've only really got David Nyker in, and unless someone tips over, we've got a couple of boxes sitting just under the cut. And if one falls out in Jerome Pampaloni's division, then Jerome will be through. And I think Wheels, our super heavyweight, we need 2 to tip over. Otherwise, it's a hard road for boxers from this country to get there.
Right. So where you go, sorry, guys.
So speaking of action, I'm just looking at Ben Aitken starting to really find his rhythm, really starting to crash and bash his way through Dan Larby's guard. He's an impressive young boxer, These boys are quite young, 60 kilograms. He's punching it seems like a heavier weight than 60 kilos.
just a bit of experience coming through there, and our young Dan Larby is just running out of puff a bit, I think. So the experience is telling.
Yeah, you can see the breath's been taken in, sort of trying to get some more oxygen into the system. Remember, these young boxers here are just 3 2-minute rounds, so this is the third round that we're in at the moment.
Third and final, and look, they're certainly singing for their supper as they go into the third and final. Ben Aitken starting to show his dominance. Like I said before, he's starting to find his rhythm, and as you alluded to, Dan is getting slightly a little bit out of huff and puff. You know, his fitness is sort of coming into play now.
Yeah, and he's scoring really well because, of course, we're going to get a chance to talk to one of the top judges, Paul McSherry, who's going to come up and join us at some stage this morning's session, just to explain how they score it, because amateur boxing a little bit different. I mean, when you watch the big sort of the heavyweights of the world, you know, they're out there, and it's the big blow. This is more scoring the points and getting the technical side of the sport underway. He's using that jab really, really well, isn't he?
Just under 30 to go. Both boys starting off this card today, throwing everything out there. And, you know, look, Dan and Ben aren't, I wouldn't say they're unmatched at all. It's just maybe Aitken's got a bit more fitness. He's had a couple more fights and it's showing here today.
Yeah, well, Ben Aitken in blue, of course, is dominating the centre of the ring. He's managed to sort of keep it going.
Can't say nothing though from the heart though there of Dan Larby. He kept throwing to the end, blood all over his face. Didn't seem to faze him. He kept swinging right till the final bell.
So these boys are, as I say, in the 60-kilogram junior men, and there are particular corners to be working it through.
Down, like I said, even though Dan was slightly outpointed, he had absolute animal and fight him right to the very end of the bell and kept throwing and swinging.
Yeah, and of course, young Dan's not getting a lot of experience or boxing opportunities coming from Gisborne. They travel a long ways to get to tournaments.
Well, let's go down and find out how we got on with our ring announcer. We'll cross down to Kerry Aitken.
The winner of round 3 and round 2 and round 1 by unanimous decision in the blue corner.
There you have it. As suspected, your winner, Ben Aitken.
And if you're getting this as your first chance to actually look at amateur boxing, one of the things that we've always talked about is the camaraderie that both boys go to their opposite corners, and the respect. And as they say, they might be going full on in the ring, but afterwards, of course, they get into it and they're mates for life.
Boxers for fight number 2 to the ring, please.
So we're heading into our second bout. And this is the cadet male, 46 kilogram. There's Willem Minchin up against Keanu Mooney. Williams from the Manawatu.
Keanu, the out of...
Actually, both boxers coming from Palmerston, one from Palmerston North. So different gyms, of course.
Fighting out of the red corner from Kiwi Boxing, William Minchin. In the blue corner, from Means Boxing, Keanu Mooney. This is a cadet male, 46 kilogram bout.
And both these boys weighing in at 46 kilograms.
Well, you'd think these would be the lightest, but we're actually going to go down to 40 after this one. 46 kilograms, 1.5 rounds. Don't let these weights fool you, though. They can still bang. They still throw power. And these boys will be going in to win today.
We always sort of laugh, Steve. You know, these guys are like pocket rockets, aren't they? Ever-ready batteries. They just come out and they don't stop.
Yeah, it's quite amazing how much energy these kids can put into a bout at times. And if they both want it, then there's going to be plenty of action.
So the referee giving them their final instructions and explaining where they're allowed to do it. And the two boys will get back to their respective corners.
William there in the red, Keanu there in the blue. As they come centre ring now, both fainting, seeing who has the quickest jab of the two. And very fast on their feet and hands, both these young boys, 46 kilograms.
Young Karen and is the Golden Gloves 2019. He was 2-times runner-up in the New Zealand Champs. And of course that was held down in Porirua earlier in the year. It was quite weird with this COVID because we were calling it the 2020 Nationals. Everyone was contacting us and saying, no, it's 2021.
The great thing about it too is we get to see 2 in 1 year, right? So we were calling it 2020 and 21, but we get to see the 21 again this year. Just as I said, both these boys are proper locks, and you said as well, they're throwing down, standing centre ring.
You've no doubt these two have met before a number of times too, so they'll be trying to sort out just who's boss of this one.
Yeah, well, young Williams had a total of 12 fights. He's an orthodox boxer. I like the way some of these young fellas, they write in what their style is, and I'll say something like, you know, universal, or I just punch hard.
You can see the experience level too, though. Look at the way they feint, roll punches, even parrying punches. Whether they be, they're so quick, but there's certainly experience from both these boys. Beautiful foot movement from both boys. You see they step in and they step to angles. They're throwing punches and bunches, but not walking straight forward. They're moving angles the whole entire time. And you're right, Steve, they have met before. It seems like they know each other's styles. They're quite close. Nothing in that round, was there?
Yeah, it'll come down to who wants it most. I'd say they'll be both very well prepared. Those gyms know each other well. They'll have sparring nights and that. So these boys are very well aware of each other, and that's you know, they'll be great mates too, of course. But you're in that ring, and it's the guy who can score the most points who's going to win the bout.
Interesting too, though. A lot of punches were taken on the glove. I didn't see too many clean body shots, but these boys are just going straight for the head. They're really trying to put one another down with these punches.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's very hard to score them too. It can be very difficult to score these bouts. You know, these kids are flurrying away, and you've got to look for those clean shots to the scoring area.
I'm looking forward to having a chat with Paul McSherry, who's one of the big judges around here, to sort of give us a little bit of an explanation how they do score.
See the experience there too from Keanu, just waiting for the shots to come through. Did he get clipped there from his mate William as he walked forward and just took one straight into the chin or eye socket there, keeping his guard up. Now a little bit of blood too there coming out of the former runner-up champ, Keanu, Mooney and Blair. A little bit of blood coming out the nose there. Just goes to show that some of those shots from William are landing.
He's using his jab very, very well. And as you say, Steve, the technical ability of some of these young fellas is really good as they're sort of getting down to that last 50 seconds of round number 2.
Yeah, they can tend to cancel each other out a bit too, you know, which makes it even harder to score, to be honest.
You can see the speed difference too here now. I feel Williams slightly got a bit of a speed advantage, and he's throwing voluminous punches 4 at once that seem to be slightly starting to overwhelm Keanu.
Yeah, I've been watching him for a while. Well, I think he's been around for a couple of years now, and he's slowly sneaking up. You know, he's getting better, this boy.
Just
Not
loving
to
the
say
movement.
that young Keanu can't catch him.
Yeah, just the footwork's beautiful from William. Look at the way he hop steps in, then 1-2.
As you say, the speed in which these boys are actually boxing is fantastic. But as you say, a little bit of claret coming down, so the last second, the corners will get onto that pretty quickly.
The scary thing too is if they're like this at this age, what are they going to be like in a few years' time, even into their late teens, early 20s?
We're hoping you're enjoying your coverage with Sky Sport next here at the Great Lakes Centre in Lake Taupo. It was a bit of a chilly morning this morning. These boxers would have woken up and sort of wondered what the heck was going on.
2 degrees.
And
2 degrees.
And a little foggy, but never mind, we're nice and warm inside the centre.
I've been coming to this event for probably 37 odd years, and I think it's the warmest I've ever been in this place, to be honest. It's only -2 or something, wasn't it?
Oh, mine, come on.
No. But it's warm enough in the Great Lakes Centre. So if you're anywhere around the Taupo district, come down and see us. We've got 4 sessions of boxing, 2 today. And then, of course, we get into the finals tomorrow. Some of these boxers are going to be doing a couple of bouts over this. So it's go hard or go home, because this is it. The last round, round number 3. We've got Keanu Mooney on the blue corner up against William Minchin in the red corner, both from the Manawa 2.
Like you said, bragging rights, right? I mean, both these boys have been in here before. runners up. You know, there isn't too much in it. They're both standing and banging. It's almost a brawl to your full style sometimes when they're in the centre of the ring. But it's going to come down to who's landing those cleaner shots and who looks better in the eyes of the judges, because I bet you everyone back home is supporting their own fighter.
Oh, absolutely. And these young William in the red corner is sort of trying to dominate the centre of the ring. And with that little bit of claret just coming out of Keanu's nose, you'll be finding the breathing just a little bit more tiresome, able to sort of take it through the mouth. But
beautiful parry punch there from Keanu. Even though he's got a bit of blood coming, he's still being aggressive. He's starting to parry a few of those punches and give it back to William.
And our referee Sunita, she certainly knows the game too. You know, she was a very good boxer in her day, so you got a competent referee in there with these kids, and she knows what's going on and how to make sure it's kept under control.
so we'll see how the last 10 seconds go as both these boxers realise it's this is it. They're either going to get it through to the finals or crowd starts to warm up, and there they go.
Certainly woken up now.
So these boys, as I say, they go to the opposite corners, and at the end of the day, if they're any older, Steve, they'll probably go down and have a quiet beer, but they'll just be having a cup of coffee, or as you and I do, a cup of tea.
You don't know what they're going to get up to nowadays, mate. They probably will be having a quiet beer, but hopefully not. You know, well, these kids are actually pretty focused. You know, they know if they want to go further in the sport, they've got to act and live like athletes.
Now, you were saying to me too, Will, when we get this result, but we'll have a chat about that in a second, so we'll just get the thumbs up from our ring announcer. We'll head down to Kerry Aitken to give us the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a close bout with a split decision. The winner by 3-2 in the blue corner.
Well, there you have it. Keanu, Mooney fighting out of the blue. Those power shots were enough to do it in the end. Like I said, he's thrown pretty hard in the third, and that could have been the one that stole that split decision.
Now, Steve, you were saying when we were chatting, you know, yesterday afternoon when you arrived in town, that you had a record number of entries.
Oh yes, it was absolutely overwhelming, and I think a lot of it is probably due to this monster we've created with Sky TV and the exposure we've had. It's been absolutely amazing. And we can build on this, but now we've got to look at the package we've got, and we've got to start refining it. And what we are going to do this year and from now on is we're going to split this event into a novice and an open event. We may have some boxes around that 10 bouts in the open event, but we're going to run a novice Golden Gloves in September.
Well, we'll head down to our ring announcer, and Kerry, if you'd like to introduce our next boxers.
This is a cadet male 40 kilogram bout. In the red corner, Silverback Boxing's Lyric KAWAU. In the blue corner, Box Office's Dean HURIWAKA.
And young Dean is from Taranaki, and Lyric from Taupo, Silverback Boxing Academy. And both these boys weighing in at 40 kilograms. It's interesting. Dean is both southpaw and orthodox, so we might see him having to switch things up.
I was actually speaking to the teams earlier, and I asked Dean and the team what his nickname was, and he said, Wee Man.
Yeah.
And then when I asked why, but I looked at the weight and it was 40 kilograms, so that explains it all, right? 40 kilograms, good nickname for now. Let's see if he lives up to that or changes that nickname as he grows older and bigger. 40 kilograms. These boys are small.
And we get ready for round number one. Just waiting for the bell. And we're away.
Dean HURIWAKA, wee man there in the blue. Lyric there in the red. 40 kilograms, but don't let the weight fool you. They might be the lightest out of the bunch, but they're exciting, they're fast. And you can see HURIWAKA there moving out of the way of the speed here from Lyric in red. Like you said, he's a southpaw and orthodox. He's got that.
That's a lovely overhand right.
Left jab going so far.
Now, a lot of people think that just because you've got the height advantage, you know, your reach is better. But he's getting down nice and low, isn't he? The wee man.
Speed of a wee man. You know, you see younger fighters not always being able to see the punches, but he's standing back, he's seeing every single punch, he's actually counter-punching Lyric, who's a taller fighter.
And he seems to be using those hips as well to be able to sort of get down and bring his punches through.
Stephen, just watching these young boys, you get to see that some people just have it naturally, right? They've got a natural inkling, they see things at a different speed. Look at Wee Man right now. He's actually reading every punch for such, you know, an inexperienced young man.
He's seeing the holes, you know, he's seeing the holes definitely, and that's, you know, as you get to my age, you don't see those holes, but these kids are sharp, they're quick, and of course, train your body, you train your mind. You know, your body's fit, your mind's fit, and so that's what you're seeing in action.
A couple of nice punches from the Wee Man as well, getting to land them.
The Lyric did get him up against the ropes. He just started to rain down a couple of punches there down on Wee Man. Hit a waka there in the blue, Lyric in the red. What an entertaining first round.
Yeah, I'll be telling the taller boy in red, you know, look, mate, you should be sitting on that jab a bit more. You're walking into this guy and holding your feet in there. You should be jabbing, picking him off and slipping away from him.
Well, he had a big year in 2020. He ended up winning the 38 kg Golden Gloves Championship, and he also won the Wellington Champ in the same year. So he's well coached.
Look at Wee Man launching into those punches too, you know. Just stood back, feinting, moving. Look at that big right overhand from Wee Man, just missing the left hook. Lyric trying to walk him down, but the speed of Wee Man is unreal.
Well, Lyric's only been boxing for a year, and one of the things he sort of said is he wants to be able to box like his big brother. So it runs in the family, but the Wee Man is not scared of coming forward.
Look at the movement there, he's just bouncing up and down. The confidence from this young Wee Man is
and Wee
sublime.
Man's from Taranaki too, mate, so just remember that.
I was waiting for the Taranaki bit to come in.
Yeah, I had to get that in.
You just had to throw that out there, didn't you, Steve, eh?
Yeah.
Love the Naki.
Love
Wee
the
Man
Naki.
there in the blue.
Best place in the world.
Dean HURIWAKA and Lyric KAWAU there in the red. Beautiful left hook there though from Lyric. Just caught Wee Man as he come forward. Nice shot there from Wee Man. Just says, hey, you want to give me one? I'll give you one back, buddy.
And another beautiful overhand right. And he landed a lovely in the left.
Just like everything I see from both these young fighters at the moment, we're seeing a lot of skill. They're probably only around the sort of 10 to 12-year-old mark, and the skill finesse they're showing at such an age is certainly impressive.
Yep, they know exactly what they're trying to do. Yeah, I am impressed with our little fella from Manaki. He's finding those spots, you know, and where he should be at a great disadvantage, you know, he's able to slip them in and get in there.
You're right too, and he did actually slip back as he threw a left hook, and you usually see that from more experienced fighters. He's stepping to an angle, throwing a left hook. Now right, always keeping that guard high and then stepping back. He's doing like checked left hooks, which he's using the left almost like a hook like a jab.
Of course, you're watching on Sky Sport. Next is the Golden Gloves for 2021 here at the Great Lakes Centre in Taupo. If you're around, actually, just looking out into the auditorium, very fortunate this year where they managed to, the production team have put us literally right in the stadium. We're able to watch it on our monitors, but also we're right pretty much close to the ring other than being inside it.
To the action, and we hope all those back home are enjoying on Sky Sport Next. Share it around with your friends, Instagram, Facebook, get as many people watching. We hope you're enjoying this fight back home. This is certainly another barn burner. Wee Man there in the blue and Lyric in the red.
A little bit hard to call this one. Now we sort of did it last time. We were both in at the Great Lakes Centre here, and also we were in Porirua for the 2020 Nationals and 2021. But it was fantastic, and well done to the organising committee of both events, actually, because the crowds turned out.
Third and final round.
They certainly have, and it just keeps getting busier and busier each fight. I mean, we are into the third fight, and the crowd are starting to get on their feet already. I don't know what it's going to be like this afternoon, if not evening. Third and final now. As they say, the money round. Lyric coming forward now, very aggressive. Threw about 8 punches as Wee Man tried to get out, but then threw a few body shots at the zone. Just getting caught now too as he walked into a few shots, which once again is so impressive. The shorter fighter is actually the more technical out of the two, where he's making Lyric walk into these punches.
Well, they're using the whole of the ring too. I mean, they're not sort of just standing in a corner and trying to thump it out.
You know, sometimes people want to see the heavyweights stand and bang, but I'm enjoying seeing these lighter guys today. This is certainly entertaining.
Well, as you say, they've got the technical ability for such a young age.
Yep, and young Lyric's got a bit of work to do too. I have the feeling that young Dean's ahead in blue. So Red's got to have a big round.
Dean HURIWAKA, aka Wee Man, tight guard there as he steps around the ring, counter-punching and throwing a few of his own. He's certainly got a unique style, again left hook as he steps back.
Neither boy taking a backward step. They're both sort of ready to go, and of course we're into the last bit of a head clash. The last 10 seconds.
Both boys hammering Tom. Nice switch hit as Wee Man steps forward, in and out. Beautiful body. Wee Man looks like he can do a few more.
He looks pretty happy with himself. He looks very happy with himself.
Beautiful body shot there as he closed off the round.
You know, they're not throwing haymakers. They're actually, you know, technically working it out, sized themselves up, and I don't mean physically in the height and their reach and where they're going to be. And old Wee Man gets straight into it.
I love the aggression too from Luke. Always chasing, always hunting. See, body shot there landed from Lyric on the bread basket there of Wee Man.
So, Steve, why do you think we've all of a sudden had, and I'll come back to you, we've actually got it. Let's go down to our ring announcer. We'll cross down to Kerry Aitken for the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a fight. The future of boxing right there. But we have to have a winner. And that winner is by unanimous decision in the blue corner.
Oh, you called it nicely.
There you have it.
You
Wee
called
Man.
it nicely.
Dean HURIWAKA from Box Office. His hometown will be proud. All the Naki boys, and Steve will certainly be happy with that one, won't you, Steve?
I liked his focus. And if you watch the boy's eyes, he's looking for the spots. He's hunting what he can find, but he's on the ball and he's watching and he's concentrating, and that probably won him the bout.
Love the foot movement too. He had quite a cerebral style for the shorter fighter. He stepped back, he was using his feet and stepping as he threw those hooks. Can't wait to see him again.
You know, and he's got a lot of growing to do too.
Do you mean in boxing or in height?
Oh, you go both, I hope.
Yeah, let's see if he grows out of that name, Wee Man, but we're certainly loving it so far, and I bet the crowd back home loved that one as well. That was an impressive fight. We're only third in. We're only third in for another 11 to go, and what an afternoon it's been so far. I hope everyone back home is enjoying the fights. To all those watching, where you've been, Auckland, Canterbury, Welly.
All right, we'll head down to our ring announcer to introduce our next bout.
Bout number 4 is another cadet male 40-kilogram bout. In the red corner, from PBA, Pacific Boxing in Auckland, Finbar O'Sullivan. And in the blue corner, from Rotorua, Motekiai HUNI.
We'll apologise to our viewers. We don't have a heck of a lot of information on our blue corner participant, but Finbar O'Sullivan is an orthodox boxer, stands around 5 foot, and he's the North Island Golden Gloves. He was second at the Nationals. He's trained by Sean Sullivan. And is educated up at St Peter's College. So getting their final instructions from the referee. Actually, we watched Finbar, I think, fought in Porirua. He looks very familiar.
Yes, he was a great little scrapper. He got a good little fighter. And our boy in blue is from CNI, so he'll have a few supporters here.
Of course, Rotorua just about an hour's drive from Taupo.
So HUNI there in the blue, Finbar in the red. Both boys coming again at 40 kilograms. Pocket rockets, 1.5-minute rounds.
I have to say, Steve, I'm laughing just a quick break away from looking at these boxes. Isn't the auditorium is pretty full, almost full for this time of the day, which is fantastic. So a lot of support coming in for these young boxers.
Yeah, I mean, it's normally the afternoon session. The first session is, a lot of people doing other things. But this is the standard where we're going to see a pretty good finals, Dave.
Both boys throwing down. This is a bit of a different dynamic from the last fight. You saw a bit of a cerebral fighter. Both boys have got similar styles in this one. Both aggressive, like to walk forward, leave nothing for the road home.
As we've explained to a lot of these boys, will be doing maybe 2 fights over the weekend. Of course, the finals tomorrow evening.
I quite like young Finbar too. You know, he dances a bit and plays a bit, but he kind of uses the ring. You know, he's trying little things here, trying little things there. You know, this is stuff that you'll see they'll develop as their careers go on, and they could be very, very tricky boxers to deal with.
You said he dances in beautiful movement. He just stepped under one of the shots here from Finbar. Well, sorry, Finbar the mover, the dancer. HUNI there being the aggressor, trying to walk him down. But the movement here from Finbar, you're right, he does dance, but in a very scientific way. And it's hard to believe that both these boys are 40 as well. There's a bit of a height difference between the last one. And these boys look a bit heavier, but they're still saying 40 kilograms. Interesting round here now as HUNI walks forward. Finbar, the counter puncher of the two, just likes to step back, throw punches, lets HUNI walk into them.
Getting some great camera angles from our production team. Hope you're enjoying with Sky Sport next. Both these boys are getting spoken to.
Getting ready now for round number 2. We've got Finbar there in the red, Motekiai in the blue.
Round number 2.
So as we get into round number 2, pretty much even. I would call that first round pretty even, actually.
Yeah, look, it's a hard one to call, and you know, Steve alluded to it earlier that there's not much in these fights. I mean, it's not one-sided. Both boys, and any fighter coming in today, there's a lot on the line. One for the gym, but also been televised, and that exposure. They really want to win in front of their friends and team.
Beautiful right hand by Finbar O'Sullivan. He's scoring very well at this point. Of course, our referee is Paul McSherry, keeping a very close watch on this. We'll be talking to actually Paul at some stage during the, maybe 1 or 2 times during the weekend, simply to help us understand the scoring.
Beautiful movement once again. You know, Finbar's slipping, weaving, bobbing, getting out of the way of those punches, but starting to get clipped. HUNI's certainly the aggressor of the two, likes to walk forward and show dominance, and he has landed a few shots of his own.
Now these boys, as we say, are just lightweights at around 40 kilograms. And as you'll appreciate, as we get into the session, we move up. And we've got a number of good female fights this weekend as well.
We certainly do. Erin Welsh, Shut of Peach Boxing is on the card. Kata Wharido, Jess Davids as well at a mayhem. It's going to be an absolute showstopper for the female fights as well. Look at the way HUNI just chases him. He's the hunter, he's the aggressor. Finbar likes to move, switch hip almost as he revolves that guard. Another hard one to call. I'm not even going to ask. I mean, it could be very one-sided. One judge could be in favour of the red, one judge in favour of the blue, but a really hard one to score and judge.
Yeah, well, these, as we say, these young fellas, they're doing 2-minute rounds. And as we move up through the weight, of course, then we increase the times.
Yeah, after the next fight, every single bout is going to be a 3-3 because they are all of the elite class and more experience. So a couple more fights at 1.5 and 2 minutes, and then we move into all 3 threes. Good fight so far. You know, sometimes the cards start off slow and I wouldn't say lackluster, but today it's been fireworks from the get-go. These boys, these fighters know there's a bit on the line, and they're thrown down here on Sky Sport next.
3rd and final round.
Mr. Paul McSherry is refereeing, and we'll be having a talk with him later.
Yeah, looking forward to that because, as I said, with the amateur style of boxing, it's pretty hard to judge if you're not sort of familiar with the rulings.
And Paul McSherry, no stranger to danger. You know, he had a few fights, probably over 100, Steve, and undefeated.
Paul was one of the better boxers you've seen in this country, and he had a sneaky way of being undefeated, for most of them. But that's Paul, we know he's sneaky anyway.
Okay, not explaining to the boxers. It's the front of the glove, not the side.
This is the third and final turn. Do you think the rounds are going fast? They are, because it's only 1.5 as we get under the final minute now. Both boys, what a hard one to call.
You notice we're not actually taking Steve on this time with cups of tea. Who's we're going to do it? We might have to do it in the evening session to be able to see with you sitting at home watching this on Sky Sport Next. Who you think is actually taking out the rounds?
Well, the judges thought they were in for an easy night afternoon. They've certainly got their work cut out for them, because every single fight, there ain't been nothing in it.
He's tracking him down, though, I have to say.
It's like a homing missile as he walks forward now. You know, I called them both similar at the start, but you're starting to see them find their own groove. I do feel that Finbar is a bit more of a switch hitter, counter striker, and when he's quite aggressive, he's trying to always find that headshot, that kill shot as he comes forward now.
It's that final 10 seconds where the boxers are actually going for it. They say, make it.
Big shot from Finbar. Hey, Steve, as a judge, when you see someone edge up in that last round, can that be something that steals the round?
I used to tell my guys, look, don't panic too much what happened early in the round, win the last 30 seconds and leave that impression with them. But in theory, no, it shouldn't influence the bout at all, but we're all human, and you do tend to see the last punch thrown or the last flurry, and that does leave an impression. So if some kids poured it on, then it could be what decides it.
Well, we'll head down to our ring announcer and get the result of this bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, another close decision, that being split in favour. A split decision in favour of the blue corner.
Your winner, Motekiai HUNI. Once again, an aggressive fighter coming through with the win. The judges are loving the aggression tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that could have gone either way too, that one, but there you go.
Well, we were just waiting for our next boxers to be called in, so I think we'll head down as these boxers are getting prepared. We'll be having a change of ring announcer shortly, but let's head down to Kerry Aitken to introduce our boxers for this next bout.
Bout number 5 is a junior male 54 kilogram division. Fighting out of the red corner from Masterton, Austin Butler. Fighting out of the blue corner from Rotorua, Kalai Proctor.
Kalai Proctor, of course, a switch fighter, so he's happy to go either way. And I love it. I love these young ones, how they give themselves their own naming. Austin, the Heartbreaker Kid Butler.
Hey, you got to mix it up, add a bit of spice.
Is he a handsome? We can't see him yet. We'll have a closer look. But yeah, the Heartbreaker Kid. Referee will call both boxers in very shortly to just give them their final instructions. Again, we're still working on that junior male, 54 kilogram.
I love it though when they have a nickname. It just goes to show they've got a bit of personality. They want to mix it up. Whether the nickname makes sense or not, it's always good when they have one.
Absolutely.
5'6" at 54 kilograms. He's breaking a few hearts out there, old Austin Butler. Is he going to break someone's heart tonight in the ring, though, as we get ready now for this 54 kilogram 3x2 minute showdown?
So Kalai Proctor in blue, Austin Butler in the red corner. Both their corners are sort of sizing these boys out. Well, you walked into that.
You can sort of see that weight shift as well. We've gone from 40 kilograms up to 54, so it's a whole 14 kilos. You can see the power shots here now as that beautiful body shot coming away from Kalai. The speed certainly has slowed down too, but rightly so. You know, these boys are a bit heavier, but the power, you can actually hear the shots when they land.
Yeah, we would be around about, what do you rate? trying to work it out in metres, probably about 15, 20 metres away. And you can sort of hear them from here, even through without the effect mics.
Yeah, and it's a change from the old days when the gloves were horsehair. Some of those more cunning old trainers would be slipping the old horsehair aside and working the glove a bit, and then you'd certainly feel the knuckles behind them. But these gloves are high-tech. It's high-tech material inside them, and it sounds, some of them below sound quite cracking, but those gloves absorb a huge amount of energy from the blow.
Well, Proctor is actually trying to control the centre of the ring, but Austin's sort of got good foot movement. He's moving around really well.
Austin Butler, yeah, in the red he is. He's certainly moving. I've taken a few there from Kalai. Kalai, once again, we're seeing a bit of aggression from blue. It seems like everyone in the blue tonight is the aggressive walk-forward fighter.
I was just about to make a comment that Kalai Proctor in blue just seems to be having his guard down a little, but he's quite happy to drop his hands down.
Just as I said, the heartbreak kid comes forward now trying to break Kalai's heart. Good round, really hard one to call. I'm not even going to say which way it's gone, but I'm loving what I see from both boys. Look at those shots there from Austin Butler. That's the thing too, like if you are a judge, you saw a double jab come out there, but then you saw a nice left hook from Kalai. So it depends what they're watching, right, Steve? It depends what they judge and what, you know, how much volume, but also the power shots landed.
Yeah, because also, you know, the blows have to be scored with the knuckle part of the glove and to the scoring area, which is across the top of the forehead, down the cheek line and across the chin, and then across the shoulders, down the side, across the waist. So anything that goes around the corner shouldn't be scored. Anything that's not hit and struck cleanly with the scoring part of the glove shouldn't be scored either. And it can be very hard when the boys are in a flurry figuring all this out. You know, it's very difficult to see exactly what's landing in there correctly.
We hope you're enjoying the coverage on Sky Sport next from the Great Lakes Centre in Taupo.
Big shot there from the red, the man in red, Austin Butler.
I think all the cafes and accommodation in the area for this Queen's Birthday weekend is pretty full up, and a great proportion of that. If this is the crowd we're getting for the morning session, what's going to happen tonight?
Oh, it's certainly starting to heat up. It's getting wild. It's definitely not 2 degrees in this room now. Nice little feint step there from the man in red, Austin Butler, doing his best to feint, jab and counter the aggression here of Kalai, and coming forward now. Just as I was saying that blue was aggressive, Kalai walking forward.
Yeah, I quite like Kalai's balance. He's got his head and shoulders well placed between his feet. You know, he's comfortable on his feet, and he's finding a few spots.
He's still able to cover up too, because I was just noticing with Austin Butler using that right hand to sort of come around, he was able to get his Kalai's
upper
just hold up.
This is where it becomes a little bit of an art. You know, you're painting a bit of a picture. You know, a lot of people don't understand that about the sport. They think it's just two guys knocking them and stuffing out of each other, but it's not. It's an art. It's a game. There's a lot of sneaky stuff going on, and individual characters come out a bit too in the way they box.
I certainly have to agree with you, Steve. That's what they call the sweet science. You'll see someone throw a couple of shots, not always to score, just to get a body movement. And you saw him before. He threw a couple of double left hooks and then threw an uppercut, which did come through and land. And sometimes you do lay a few traps, don't you, Steve?
Yeah, it's a matter of, you know, working away with the shoulder movement and the head movement, trying to get a shoulder back so you're ready to, you know, fire a shot off, unless it's a jab, of course. But, you know, what you're trying, coaching them boys, you know, you're trying to set him up with the left hand, you're trying to work, catch his attention, and then you know, sneak the right hand through, and then you can hook off that and work from there.
Yeah, I think that I would have called that round pretty much split, although in saying that, Kalai, he was making a big effort to control the centre of that ring right the way through that second round.
I'm really glad I'm not judging any of these fights today and up here in the hot seat of commentary, because the judges, they cannot look away for one moment.
No, it's, you know, there's a difference between watching about and judging about. And often people say, oh, who do you think won that one, Steve? I might have been watching, but I wasn't judging it, you know, and that's it's hard to make a decision when you haven't sat down and judged the thing properly.
Oh, I can't agree more with that. You know, like you said, if you judge a fight, you're just watching it for what it is in terms of points. Whereas you're not actually taking it in or enjoying the fight, you're judging.
Oh yeah, you can go to
Third and final
some events
round.
when I have judged, and they'll ask you about a bout, and I said, oh, I don't remember it.
Even though you judged it.
Even though you judged
exactly,
it.
Exactly.
As we get into our third round, again, these are 2-minute rounds for these lighter weight boys. These guys are both coming in as the junior males at 54 kilograms.
Bit of swag here too from Kalai. I mean, he's got a low guard, but he works with it. He doesn't always have to hold it that high because his movement is so sharp. Bit of dancing there from Austin, the Heartbreak Kid.
You look at his eyes too, he's very, very focused.
Love how he moves back and then throws a shot. That's beautiful boxing. And then walks forward.
Takes that step back and then comes forward again once he's landed it.
His time is impeccable. Just you saw he made Kalai miss. And that's just the way he moves forward and back. Beautiful movement. It's not always about how hard you throw the punch, but the way you move angles. Up against the ropes now, getting a bit of dirty boxing, but you don't see too much of this in the amateurs, do you, Steve? They don't really tie up in the corner and box in the pocket.
Yeah, no, they use the ring a lot. They're using their feet. They know, you know, you can get out of trouble and use your feet. It's quite a big ring, and most of these boys are very well skilled and they know how to use every square inch of it.
I mean, we even saw that wee man. He was 1 minute he was in one corner and the next. I mean, these guys are certainly utilising the ring tonight or today.
And of course, that's the difference between professional boxing and amateur boxing. You know, you've got a very short window to do things. You can't sit in a corner and wear a round or two out, you know, to maybe slow the guy down and then come back with a different plan. This one, these boys have only got, what, 2-minute rounds, 6 minutes of boxing. They've got to use that ring. They've got to make everyone believe that they won the bout.
10 seconds, beautiful shot there from Kalai.
But he scored well with that right as well. Young Austin Butler, he wasn't scared, he just kept forward.
I want to see this go a couple more rounds, guys. I think these guys have got it in them. And like you said, it's only 6 minute fights. I want to see more. They look ready to go.
Yeah, I'm not going to split this one. They're both doing good things in there.
So of course we'll await for the judges to make the decision. And we've got a couple of big fights, as I say, in this session. We have 14, and then we're back again at 5 o'clock tonight. It is 5, I think. Yeah, 5 o'clock.
6, I think.
6 o'clock until we go through. So we'll see whether the judges have made their decision. The scorecards are in. Yep, we're in. Let's head down to our ring announcer, Kerry Aitken.
We have another very close split decision going in favour of the red corner.
Austin the Heartbreaker Kid, Butler.
Certainly broke a few hearts tonight, especially those supporting Kalai Proctor.
Yeah. Because he's out of Road to Vegas, just up
Well
the road.
deserved. I loved his movement, the way he moved angles, was aggressive. You know, it was a split decision, but still, I think he did enough too in the eyes of the judges, and certainly those back home agree as well.
So our next fight coming up is Adam COSTLEY. We hope you're enjoying the coverage here at the Great Lakes Centre in Taupo as we get ready as we start moving up the weights. And now these boys are a little bit taller, so they'll just get their final instructions from their corners as they get ready for it.
3-3s, 69 kilograms. We're stepping up now. These boys are experienced. Like you said, you saw a bit of a height difference here. I mean, looking at Sharif there, he looks about 6 foot.
Yeah, I don't have any information on him, but you're right, with just on 5'8", 6 foot. Young Adam COSTLEY. And they'll just get called into the corner. There appears to be, from where we're sitting, our vantage point, there is a definite height advantage to young Sheriff over COSTLEY in the blue. Sharif is from the hit pit, And Adam
Okay,
Costley
ladies and gentlemen, we're up to bout number 8 on the cards.
is from HURIWAKA.
And fighting out
What a
of the
name
red
for a gym
corner,
too, the Hit Pit.
The Hit Pit.
Sharif there in the red, and Adam Costley there in the blue.
Bout number 6.
And,
Hit Pit versus Hiratonga.
Fighting out of the red corner.
Okay, we'll head down to our ring announcer,
from
Charlie Moana Jenkins.
I couldn't hear that. Why couldn't I
Adam
hear that?
Costley in the red corner. Oh, sorry. Alhaji Sheriff in the red corner. In the blue corner, Adam Costley.
So this is youth male 69.
3 threes, and look at this height difference. Said earlier, actually got them mixed up. Sharif there's the taller fighter, almost 6 foot. Adam's probably about 5'8".
Yep.
Certainly got a height disadvantage here for Adam, but he's going to have to be in the pocket, be aggressive, get inside as much as he can, because Sharif will try to stay on the outside. Already using that reach. You know, he doesn't have to extend the punch half as much as there is Adam. Adam's really going to have to fight to get on the inside to score these points.
Now, a lot of these young fellas were fighting at the Nationals in Porirua earlier in the year. So they probably met each other once or twice.
Probably didn't. What you've got to watch out too for a shorter fighter is those power shots. They may not be as tall, but they'll get in Tyson style.
But he
to
scored both with that right and the left-hand combination.
You can see Sharif keeping a tight guard because he doesn't want to get clipped. He knows Adam's got power.
Yeah, and of course, when you're shorter, when you do get in there, you've got to do your work. You can't just go in there and take one shot. You know, you get caught coming in, you get caught going out. So you've got to make the most of it when you can get between these guys' feet and do your work.
Just as I was saying that though, the movement from Adam, head movement's beautiful. He's getting out the way, and Sharif knows it. Sharif knows he's going to be in for a potentially hard night, but he can stay and stick and move for only so long before Adam gets in.
Yeah, and then if you tuck your chin down, of course, you know, you're covering your body as much as you can with your elbows. You make it harder for the taller guy sometimes. He's got to punch down, and the only real target he's got is above the shoulders. And, of course, it's the smallest target of the lot. And if you move it, you're going to make it a lot harder.
Did you see that bob and weave left hook? Beautiful style here from Adam. But we're still early rounds. It's 3 apiece. We're only 2/3 of the way through round 1.
Hope you're enjoying the coverage here on Sky Sport. Next, from the Great Lakes Centre in Taupo. It's
Certainly gotten a little bit warmer in here, but I wouldn't mind it be a bit warmer.
Oh, come
Still
on.
pretty cold down here at Great Lakes.
Well, it's got to be above 0 by now.
He was only in town 5 minutes. He went and bought a jacket.
Speaking of getting warm, it's certainly heating up here in the ring. These boys are youth males coming in at 69, 3 times 3-minute rounds. It's been a good round so far.
I'd have to say that Adam seems to be the more the aggressor. And he's coming forward and he's willing to get in, mix it up. But, as I say, Alhaji Sheriff, a nice little combination going through there.
Just as you said that, he landed a few more of his own. Adam.
Actually, I just realised something too. Isaac, this is your first Golden Gloves Taupo, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is.
Well,
yeah.
have we not? Did you not tell him, Steve,
Well, I don't
about
know.
the swim in the lake?
He's got to do the induction, doesn't he?
You've got
Yes.
to do the induction in Lake Taupo. That's part of the deal.
Yeah, well, I'll probably get hypothermia, so if you want, do I get a wetsuit?
No, we'll take you down to, there's a hot water beach further down the lakeside. You can jump in there. As I say, you're enjoying the coverage at Sky Sport. Next, I'm Brent Perry. I've been joined by Isaac Savage from the thriving metropolis of Auckland, and from the Naki, the president of New Zealand Boxing, Steve Hartley.
I must say, Brett, too, around town, the Taupo, you know, it's a very busy place.
Yeah, we've
You know,
done really
it's-
well. I think
yeah, it's
COVID,
great.
everyone sort of talked about COVID hitting it pretty hard, but, you know, you realise that we've got about 10 centres all within about 3 hours' drive, so it's, you know, pretty fortunate.
Yeah, and we've just been for a drive out to Kinloch, to be honest, and it was a lovely little spot.
Oh, yeah.
Never been there before, it was great.
Round number 2.
Oh, Sharif really jumping the gun there, ready to get back in. I wouldn't be rushing that fast to get in there with someone like Adam Costley, though. The way he's been throwing, the aggression, he's been walking forward Tyson-esque, as he has to shut down and close that distance with the taller fighter. Just as you said earlier, though, Steve punching down, and Sharif certainly took advantage of that, landed a few shots of his own.
Yeah, you can drop the weight on the punch when you do punch down, but if you've only got the head as a target, it can be difficult too. You know, the idea is to try to distract the guy and then get a little uppercut in there if you can, if he has got his head down. But it's easy to talk about it.
This is what I love about boxing too. You saw the first round being dominated there by Adam, but I'm starting to see Sharif find his groove now. He's getting to his rhythm, landing those counter strikes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Getting in the rhythm is a big part of it. It's just you subconsciously settle into the movement of the bout, and then you start seeing things clearer as you move into the bout further and further. And that's probably like the program. You know, as you got 10, 12 rounds, you have got a lot of time to settle into the bout and find little bits. But in this game, it's explosive. You got to get on with it, and you got 6 minutes to win it. Or in the senior ranks, of course, or the elite, you've got 9 minutes. But that's a very short time.
Yeah, well, Adam COSTLEY, of course, is the 2020 Golden Gloves North Island champion. So, you know, he's got the experience, and he's probably come up against tall fighters as well, because he seems to be, again, the camera angles that we're producing for you, it's hard to really show, but he's carrying, he's lower to the ground, a little more stocky, but of course he's using it really, really well.
Yeah, well, centre of gravity.
Pull the weight down to the ground, get the heat on the punch.
See too that when he does get hit by Sharif, he doesn't really move too much. Probably like you said, because he is that more of a solid sort of build. Sharif's starting to, I do feel though Sharif's sort of starting to take apart this round. Just as I said that, I don't think Adam heard me.
Yeah, I tend to contradict that.
Yeah, it's a commentator's curse. As soon as you say one thing, he gets clipped by a rather lovely overhead right. Adam COSTLEY hit him.
Yeah, and he did it once again.
Alhaji Sharif.
I feel that Sharif's starting to find his movement now, the rhythm. It's just something slightly off-put, that of Adam COSTLEY.
I think Adam's got to up his work rate. If you're letting a guy, it looks like the other fella's winning, then the judges are going to think that. So you've got to convince them that you're winning this bout. And so if you've got to do more work, you've got to do it.
You say too that it's only 9 minutes. It feels like a hell of a long time.
Yeah. Beautiful overhand right.
It's the longest 9 minutes of your life. Especially when some fellas backing you up all night and you're on the
beautiful shots there though from Sharif. I'm liking the way he finishes, and there's a bit of red now at the nose.
Yeah, a little bit of claret just appearing just in that last couple of minutes. I think you might see it here. He just gets
beautiful little counter left hook there. Look at the way he switched, which was like being stepped into a punch.
Both these boys, of course, giving you their weights. Youth male at 69.
You mentioned earlier too.
It's all right, no?
You mentioned earlier, Steve, that they can't just rest, can they? Like the heavyweight pros or even a pro fighter. Sometimes they'll just stay in the corner, throw a few shots, let the judge, ref break it up.
Yep. You know, you can take a round off. In this game, you can't. You know, you got to nail every round.
So as they get told if they get the seconds out of the ring, you've got 3 minutes, young man. Adam COSTLEY's getting the instructions from Matt Harlan.
Sharif from the hit pit. COSTLEY from Hiratonga.
Of course, that's out in the Hutt Valley, just north of Wellington. So we've got a total of 14. This is our bout number 6. So there's no slowing down with this boxing at this level. These boxers will finish it, and we've got the next ones walking through. We've got about 120 bouts that you're covering on Sky Sport next. And a big shout out to all the volunteers that have helped bring this together, along with our production team. Actually, they're tucked up nice and warm in a van.
Yeah, and it's great that Sky Sport has taken an interest in boxing. It is an underrated sport. A lot of people watch it for the first time and think, well, why wasn't I watching this years ago? You know, this is a great little sport. And it is, you know, seeing these young guys develop into adults, well adjusted adults, and the boxing discipline is a huge part to play in that.
Well, I received a number of emails and text messages, mainly text messages from all over the place with people who said it's so fantastic. And this is people not just in New Zealand but offshore saying that in their own countries the COVID meant that there was no live sport where you've got, I mean, look at the screen that you're watching now, you know, the people inside an auditorium and actually enjoying live sport.
Yeah, and we get a very good support. I mean, I've watched some of the Golden Gloves tournaments in America, and I'll tell you, we're well beating them on views. You know, we're getting tremendous support on this, and we can only build on it. I think we're in a transitional stage where people, if we can keep pushing this around on the media and that, this sport will grow. It'll grow.
We're inside the last minute of round number 3.
What a hard one to call to. I mean, I've just been studying these boys throw down. It's tick for tack. Both boys are bleeding. They're both thrown down. A really hard one to call. You may even call it one apiece up until now, and whoever wants this more in the last 30 seconds is going to take it.
Yeah, I was favouring young Adam, but I think Red Man, he's got that reach, and it's always just a hard one to sort of get around.
You can sort of see the power starting to lack too, and rightly so. They've been both throwing so hard. Beautiful shot there from Sharif.
Followed by a nice little uppercut by Adam COSTLEY as their last 10 seconds, we call it. This is make or break time.
Oh, big shot there from Adam COSTLEY, smashing the mouthguard out.
Of course, the clock will stop just for a few seconds while that mouthguard gets reattached.
What did you say earlier, Steve? Doesn't matter what happens at the start of the round, but make sure you win that last 30.
That's exactly.
I mean, if that ain't enough to solidify that, I don't know what is. Knocking the gum shield.
Yep. We're certainly letting the judges know you got one in.
Wow. I mean, sometimes they spit out the mouthguard for a bit of a breather, but that certainly wasn't trying to get a breather on that one.
No, that got knocked out.
As we go to the replay now. Huge shot there from Adam COSTLEY.
Yeah, well, they'll I think our replay's trying to sort of find that, but
maybe it was just too quick. The mouthguard went flying at light speed.
Yep.
I barely saw it come out myself. The crowd certainly woke up too. It was an entertaining fight, and then it just got even more entertaining. It was like adding a grenade to a bonfire.
And these guys, they may be youth, but in the next few months, 12 months or whatever, they could pop into the elite ranks, and that Commonwealth Games carrot is there. You just don't know. You know, some of these guys come on really fast, and if you can get them on that upward swing, they could be going international, and they could do very well.
Right, we're just going to head down to our ring announcer, Charlene Moana Jenkins.
His gym is fitness.
I saw them raise the red hand there, so there you have it. You're right, Steve. You actually said that in that latter round that Sharif was under edge forward. And even though the mouthguard did get knocked out, Sharif did enough in the end for the win.
Yep. I think one of the best practitioners of that was Sugar Ray Leonard. He could win, lose the first 2/3 of the round or more. He'd come back hard in the last part of the round, and he'd win the damn thing.
It's an art, though. It's an art to steal the round. You know, Nick, the Greek Charalompus, is a really good fighter that does that. Stealing the round is an art.
Yep.
So we'll head up down to our ring announcer. We've got our youth male, 46 kilograms. So we'll head down to Charlene Moana Jenkins. So we're just waiting for, there's just a slight delay as our boxers are making it to the ring, to their appropriate corners.
The boy there.
So there's your program. It's just popped up on the screen. Here she goes.
That's about number 7 on the cards. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a youth male,
We'll head down to Charlene.
64 kilo weight division. Fighting out of the red corner from box office, please welcome Kalani MARRA.
Kalani and MARRA in the red.
His opponent in the blue corner from Nookie's Boxing, please welcome Hunter DOWNARD.
Kalani there in the red. Got the
referee
nickname
is
Rock
Paul
Lee.
Sherry.
Also, he's at the same gym as Wee Man.
Yeah, well, I've actually had a look at young Hunter Downard. His father, Michael, actually. I think he was deputy mayor here in Taupo for a number of years. And no slug in a ring either.
Yeah, but there is a Taranaki boy there.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. The guy's a bit slow on this.
Yeah.
3 threes, 64 kilograms. This is going to be another banger. Rock Lee there in the red, out of box office. And Hunter Downer there in the blue, 64 keg. Once again, another long rounder, but they're certainly going fast today, aren't they, Steve? I mean, they might be 3-minute rounds, but you blink and you miss. And that last fight, that didn't seem like they were 3 apiece.
Yeah, well, there's quite a bit going on, and when you're focusing on something, you know, when there's a lot of action and that, time does go quick. And of course, our tournament supervisor, the legendary Mr. Keith Walker, he runs a slick ship. You know, these guys have got to be ready, otherwise they get a tune-up. As soon as that one bouts over, the next one's got to be ready.
Kalani there in the red, Hunter down on the blue. Beautiful speed there from Kalani. Hunter walking into a couple. Look at guard as well. He's got that right hand, that left hand cocked up, jabbing with the right. So we've got a southpaw here. Southpaw style there of Kalani. And so quick. Look at the way he's thrown these shots. This is lightning speed.
And the southpaw course is always an awkward one. They're all
they
back
always
to front,
are.
and you think, what's going on here? He's just doing everything wrong. And they can play it to their advantage.
Mate, his hand speed is sublime. You know, he's moving angles, he's throwing out. His punches are coming back quicker than they're coming out. I'm loving the speed to what I'm seeing here from Kalani, Rock Lee. And always that more difficult against the southpaw, because you don't always have southpaws in the gym. Well, you do, but there's only a few of them around, isn't there, Steve? Every gym you go to, only about 5 to 10, 20% of the gym are southpaws.
Yeah, I ban them. I just they come into my gym. Hey, you're going lefty or you're out of there.
Hey, listen, they did that when you were learning to write with your left hand. Come on, you can't be doing that with boxers.
Well, I didn't learn to write, so there you go.
I mean, Hunter Downer is holding his own so far, but the speed. Oh, he just walked into one though, just as I said that. Kalani walking into the shot there of Hunter Downer, but I'm liking what I'm seeing here from Kalani so far, the way he's moving, the angles, the speed.
But as I say, Hunter's father, Michael, I think he entered one of the charity boxing matches that we had here some years ago. And of course, raised a phenomenal amount of money for some local charities. So he's got some good stock in him. Rock Lee has called it. He's box office boxing out of Taranaki. Oh,
See one of his favourite fighters to is Errol Spence, and he's certainly showing a style similar to that as well. Big shot there, rocking the head back of Hunter Downer.
There's definitely 2 definitive scoring blows in there from young Kalani, so you know, the judges would have seen them clearly.
Bit of a feint there from Rock Lee.
holds his guard down quite low at times.
Always makes it hard too, Steve, when you're fighting a southpaw, but they switch and move the other way. Just confuses you even more, because one minute you're moving one way to counter-strike the southpaw, then they move the other.
Yep. Sometimes I wonder they don't confuse themselves too. But, you know.
No wonder you ban them. No wonder you ban them. Beautiful round.
And of course, with the southpaw, generally the scoring hand, you know, the one to watch out for is the backhand, the back shoulder. You know, that's the one that's loaded. So, you know, you're going, if you are moving off that punch, you've got to be aware of it. You know, you've got to change your movement and go the other way. So generally, you'll drift to your left rather than to your right. But yeah, they're tricky.
To make all these decisions at the speed of thought, it's just like a game of chess, right? But with dire consequences.
Get it wrong, it's going to hurt.
Big time.
So we've got a big year of boxing, Steve, haven't we? We've got the Nationals in Wanganui.
Yep, good old Whanganui. We're the team down there is gearing up, and that'll be, if it's anything like last year's Nationals, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And of course, we've got the Commonwealth Games, and that is where New Zealand gets pretty good representation. We've been allocated 6 positions in the boxing, So we'll fill all. But definitely we'll have 6 boxes there, so it's up to these guys here to sort out who those 6 are.
Well, there's Kalani MARRA in the red corner up against Hunter DOWNARD from Taupo. He's out of the Nookie gym.
You can feel these shots landing through now. Now to the chest, to the head. I actually felt those last 3 land, especially that one in the sternum. They're never nice. They're never nice taking a straight shot to the sternum.
Yeah, I think Kalani's got his timing sorted here.
So he's getting a standing 8, and just to fill you in, of course, if they get 3 standing counts of 8, then the judge will step in and stop it. Number 1 priority, Steve, you keep saying it, we'll keep repeating it. Safety is paramount.
Yep, there's no tolerance. No tolerances whatsoever. I mean, it's the safest of all contact sports because we've got a system that works, and it's not a Mickey Mouse computer-generated system or whatever. It's a system that's been tried for many, many years, refined and refined and refined.
So these boxers don't need to go to the floor to actually get a standing 8. If the referee decides that you've taken a reasonably good hit.
Yep, because the standing 8 count, it's not to impress anyone how hard the other fella hit him. It's to give the boy a break, and then for the referee to assess him, and yep, okay, he's clear, away you go again.
And of course,
the girl in that case.
Yeah, and that decision is made by the referee, and this one, of course, is Paul McSherry, a very competent boxer in his right and in his day. So he's well versed to be able to understand what's going on.
Yeah, Paul's a very experienced referee, and one of our more experienced, no doubt about it. I like how Paul referees, you'll see him, he's just always waiting there, hovering, ready to just dive in if needed.
He's looking very closely at young DOWNARD.
Was he had 1 count already, but starting to find his groove. Just as I said, that took a shot to the body. Not looking too good now for Hunter DOWNARD.
Just been overwhelmed a little bit, I think.
Big shots in again.
And you notice how quick Paul jumped in there. Now what Paul's deciding right now is, okay, look, if I let this go, I'm going to be very sharp on the next one.
1 more and it's all over, right?
Yep. Quite possibly. 3 in 1 round, 4 and about.
So he's got to survive this final minute of round number 2. This is bout number 7, of course, in our session this morning is 14, so we're halfway through.
Beautiful feint there too now from Rockley. He's almost like a shark to blood, once he knows that he's on Wobble Street, he's going to go in, he's going to probably try to finish this before end of round 2.
Don't know why I heard the 10-second clap with sort of 33 seconds, but we'll see what the referee says.
We might have got it a little bit short on that, but I'm sure.
I think that mainly was the fact that the clock didn't take into consideration the standing 8.
That could be great, but I don't think Hunter Down would be complaining with that stoppage. Let's see if he can take it through to round 3.
He wore a couple of nice rights, which just rattled him a little bit, and our referee, Paul McSherry, jumped in very, very quickly.
And the corner should be watching this, I mean, if that was my boy now, I'd be saying to him in the corner, look, you show me something, mate, or I'm going to throw the towel. Look, you're going really well. I don't want to break your heart by stopping it, but you've got to show something because you're getting caught just a little bit too often now, and your health comes first.
So they've got to survive another round. Seconds out.
That's the thing, Steve. It's not about giving up. It's about fighting on another day and going in with less injury for the next one.
Dead right. Yep. It is a contact sport, but there are rules we've got in place. And these coaches all that have been well educated and how to look after their boys. And of course the referee's right, and he will make the call, no doubt about that.
Yeah, well, young Hunter DOWNARD walked into a lovely right hand pretty much in the first 2 seconds of this round number 3. And he's still holding.
Big shots again.
Yep. So the referee has stopped the fight.
I mean, you've got to give the guy a go. You've got to give the guy a go. Everyone wants to have a crack, but hey, mate, the referee knows a little bit more about the game than you, and he's there to look after you.
You
so
could
just
feel
see if we pick up on this replay, we should sort of see it there.
big shot.
And it was a direct left.
And anyone that says, oh, that was stopped too early, they just need to go in and do a one boxing sesh. Take a body shot, take a head shot.
Just one like that's enough. They've learned their lesson pretty quick.
So, of course, we can see it on the screen, but we're just going to wait for the official judge's call. So we'll head down to our ring announcer, Cherie Moana Jenkins.
Ladies and gentlemen, decision of that bout resulting in the referee stopped the contest in favour of the red corner.
Where was
Kalani
that boy
MARRA.
from, Brent? That red boy?
Taranaki.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, he's been coming on well, Kalani. We've been watching him for a year or two now, and you know, these boys slowly hit their straps. You know, they're coming into the bigger game now as he grows. And,
Yeah.
I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Well, I'm liking what I'm seeing at the moment. Of course, for you watching at home on Sky Sport Next, we're actually sitting in the Great Lakes Centre Auditorium here in Lake Taupo, and it's wall-to-wall people. So there's parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, the whole family's turned up, Steve, and it's fantastic.
I think we're going to need more seats tomorrow night, because that's when they really come in.
Yeah, well, of course, as you said, nearly 200 boxes tried to register, but we got it down to 120. So it's a fair few fights.
Yeah, it was a great shame that we had to sort of make a cut. It was a hard decision to make. There were a lot of people who had booked in accommodation and things, and it was a great shame, but
So-
it had to be, otherwise it wouldn't have been.
Well, we've got our first female fight coming up. This is Tessa Rutherford up against Stacey Love.
Yep, Chris Walker.
Oh, sorry, I
coaching
think I might have
the
pronounced this lady's name wrong. I think it's LOYE, L-O-Y-E. My apologies. So this is our first female bout coming up. These two boxers, of course, are in the novice women, 75 kg. Scoring stays the same.
And they're doing the same. You know, these girls are doing the same as the boys. Like for like, there's no difference.
Now, a lot of people, used to sort of say, what boxing was not for women. However, you watch what you're going to witness shortly with these young ladies. They're not scared of mixing it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to bout number 8 on the cards, our first woman novice bout. Fighting out of the red corner from Tauranga Boxing Club, welcome Tessa Rutherford. Her opponent in the blue corner from Langdon's Boxing Gym, Stacey Lloyd.
So as we say, this is the first of the female fights that we've got on the card this weekend. So young Tess is trained by Chris Walker, who's come down the road from Tauranga, up against Stacey Lloyd in the blue. So one of these young ladies don't tie their hair off. Hard enough wearing a headgear, let alone having hair falling into your face.
Yeah, I thought they might have tied that back a bit, because it can be quite distracting.
Both ladies coming in at 75 kilograms too. There's another 3x3. Bit of a different style here too. A bit of a tighter guard here from Rutherford, or Tessa Rutherford, and Stacey's a bit more wild, especially with that hair too,
Yeah.
Her style's suiting the hair. She's a bit of a wild style. Coming forward now as Tessa's got that cleaner boxing finesse, but styles make fights, as they say.
Yeah, well, you got Tessa's course with Chris Walker. Chris is a very good technical coach.
These young, as we say, these young women, these are, I think, 2-minute rounds.
They're all threes until the afternoon now, from what I've got here. 3 threes or 3
Three
twos?
threes. The way in which these, the organisation committee put this in, that you literally blink, one fight's over and you're straight into your next one. So there's no time to sort of catch breath, really.
Pretty quick round again. Hard one to call. Like I said, a wild style here from Stacey. Tessa the cleaner too, but Stacey's landing a few of her own. She's getting through with those wild shots.
So as I say, you may not pick it up on the TV as easy as we do sitting here in the auditorium, but these ladies are not taking a step back. They're willing to throw the punches.
It seems like no fighter is today, and if they are, they're throwing a shot with it.
So Steve, you were commenting earlier that there's been an increase in numbers of young ones getting into the gyms.
Yes, we're seeing it in a lot of tournaments now. We've got to probably look at the sport now a little bit and run more tournaments. I mean, you know, obviously the coverage that we've had through Sky and the promotions that we're doing through the media and that, and it's definitely, the sport is growing, and now we've got to adjust. And that's where it becomes an infrastructure problem, you know, with personnel. We're a volunteer sport. We're grossly underfunded by Sport New Zealand. I'll definitely get that one in. And we're trying to convince these government agencies of how big our sport is. It's not just a competitive side. It's all the kids and all the gyms around the country. There's 10,000 kids in those gyms that we're directly having some influence on their lives.
And they're not sitting at home on PlayStation or Playbox or anything like that. They're actually staying fit, forming friendships. Of course, both these boxers are from different parts of New Zealand. One from Tauranga, and of course
Yep, and you make great mates. You know, you're out there giving it all and doing your best to defeat the opponent. But these guys will be mates. They'll be having a good old chat after the bout.
Bit like us, really. So we've just had a small stoppage to adjust some headgear, of course. This is round number 2. One
thing I will say, though, with the headgear in this tournament, I've been quite impressed. It all looks brand new. The Sting headgear looks very tight as well. Obviously, it's quite important, right? Sometimes with these fights, the headgear can get in the way.
Yep, yeah, and if you're using good quality headgear, and it's great that we've got Sting supplying a lot of this sort of equipment to our sport. They know the game, they know what to supply, and it's the better gear. It's good gear, you know, it's right up there.
12-ounce gloves as well, Steve, for these, or 14s?
What's the weight, mate? I wasn't watching.
75 kilograms. So.
It'll be 14s, I assume. It'll be the bigger weight. It jumps up to 69 or 67, I think.
Also, too, the thing with the amateur fights is they've only just got hand wraps underneath, unlike a pro fight where they have professional hand wraps where they use tape and padding. These are just cloth wraps, so probably helps too as well for those to know back home that the safety is paramount in amateur boxing.
Oh yeah, those hand wraps in the pro game, you know, they do add extra weight onto the hand. And of course, with rotational movement, acceleration, and weight, you know, the punching force is obviously stronger, you know. And but the important thing is why these kids are wearing wraps is to look after their hands. You know, they're banging away. Some of these kids, their bones haven't formed that well either. You know, like they're still growing, and so it's just another piece of the picture.
Well, just noticing that Tessa and then Red, she's seems to be more the aggressor, and I've just got this feeling at the moment that Stacey in blue, she's really struggling with that headgear. It's coming down and she's constantly having to adjust, which must really affect her vision.
It puts you off, definitely, you know.
Like it's literally...
It's frustrating. She'll be thinking the headgear's dropping again, it's dropping, I can't see again.
Yeah,
you
can't
know, where
see.
she should be focusing on what she's doing. And that allows a big advantage to the opponent.
You make a good point, because if you look at the fights, you can look at the fighter's eyes, and if they can see everything that's going on, you can see that Tessa has got a much clearer line of vision.
Yep.
Whereas the wild style Stacey, I mean, the hair, yes, but the headgear as well, it doesn't seem like it's helping.
Well, she's constantly pushing it back up.
Yep.
So maybe it's just not being...
It's just not adjusted right, the headgear. There's a few little tricks to adjusting the headgear, and hers is just sitting a little bit low on her head.
Third and final round.
So the boxers are getting called out for the final round.
The money round, as they say. Pretty hard to choose so far. It's been very stable, very steady. You know, Stacey's landed a few wild shots, but I think Tessa might be up on points.
Tessa's a cleaner boxer, but you know, yeah, it still doesn't mean she's getting all the scoring blows, but she's just getting quite a few in there, you know, just in the little holes. She's starting to establish herself more in the bout.
Nice looping shot there, nice little sneaky hook from Stacey. And that's where she's landing these counter shots, is when she steps away or throws something quite wildly. Whereas Tessa's very consistent, walking her down, throwing very clear, concise shots.
Your coverage with Sky Sport next here at Lake Taupo at the Great Lakes Centre. If you're in the Turangi, Tokoroa, Rotorua even, we've got a chance to shoot over because we've got a night sessions as well. As we're moving up the weight classes as we go through the evening.
Even though Stacey's a little wilder in that, she's actually getting a few in.
That's what I was saying earlier, that she is. She certainly has a nice little body shot there.
Tessa's got to become a little bit less robotic and get a bit more work going in there.
Beautiful left hook again there from Stacey. Very consistent from Tessa, but Stacey's throwing such wild shots, landing again with that left hook. Making Tessa adjust her headgear a little there.
I don't know who I sort of feel that Tessa's been more the aggressor, but...
Beautiful hook there. That would have taken anyone's head off. Just missed.
Just missed that one.
Beautiful shots here. Both girls thrown down to the very last second.
A little bit of physicality coming in as she's Tessa's pushing around Stacey, but both girls happy with that end result.
Another tough one to call. Liked what I saw from both fighters. Always great when we have a stylistic matchup like that. Tessa Rutherford there in the blue against Stacey.
If you're finding it hard to work out when you're watching the screen, as far as the scoring system is concerned, you don't have that on your own. So what we will be doing is we'll be calling up at some stage Paul McSherry, who's not only one of the referees here, but he's also an accomplished retired boxer, we should say, and also a judge. So we'll try and get him to give us some indication of where he feels we go. So the boxers are coming into the centre of the ring. Just wait for the signal that we've got it all. So let's cross down to Charlie Moana Jenkins to give us the result.
Well done, ladies. Result of this bout, ladies and gentlemen, was a unanimous decision, and it goes to the red corner, Tessa Rutherford.
There you go.
Well, there you have it. Consistency won, volume, punches and bunches. Not enough for the wild style there of Stacey, but what a fight that was.
Yep, no, those girls are doing it. They're doing it as good as any of the boys are, I'll tell you here and now.
So for our next bout, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to draw out the raffle.
So
the
while
first
the
raffle on the cards is your grey one.
Put my teeth back in. The number of fights, we've still got another
Rua,
2, 4, 6 to
draw,
go
please?
in this morning session, or afternoon session is now. So we've got a couple of boxes. The weight class, of course, comes up. These are the elite men novice, 91 kg.
And it all gets pretty heavy from here on. I mean, 91. We're going straight from 75, another 16
Awesome.
keg
So
up.
if you bought a raffle off the ladies this morning,
These boys
the grey
are going to come
raffle,
with power, finesse,
and your number
and
is 23,
experience.
23, and you're
Yep,
the
no,
winner.
these boxes, have, as I say, we're going up in class. Got a local lad, Sefi. So Sefi's from that, the local boy. And then we have from the Shamrock Club, we have Afu Ma'u. And now these, as I say, these are definitely up in class now and in weight.
Big boys. Afa there in the red. Sidavini there in the blue.
So we'll cross down to our ring announcer and she can do the introductions for us.
Bout number 9, ladies and gentlemen, is a 3 2-minute round. It's elite men's novice weight division, fighting 91 kilos. Fighting out of the red corner from Shamrock Association, let's welcome Afa Mau.
And these
His
are the bouts.
opponent in the blue corner from Nuki's Boxing, let's welcome Steveni Natale Kolo.
And these bouts, one punch.
Your referee is Rua Williams.
And of course, you will notice this is the first one that we've had where the headgear is not required, Steve.
Yep, we're in the elite division now, and according to our world body, AIBA. The medical studies have been done, and they don't see any advantage in headgear on elite athletes.
For those watching back home too, expect fire. We've got Sitivini there in the blue, Uffa there in the red, 91 kilograms. I mean, we've seen a lot of action from all fights so far. Expect some fireworks from both these big boys as we get ready now for the first fight without headgear.
So we've got one southpaw up against an orthodox.
We've got our experience with old Tohu in there too, so we're going to he'll be in there when he needs to be.
I was watching Rhys, sorry, not Savini, just as he was sort of warming up earlier in the day. I mean,
look at the way though Uffa comes
that's got
forward.
a little bit of weight. Nice body shot there, and another.
Big shots there from Uffa.
Yeah, that hurt. Referee sort of said, get over there.
Now these are the boys that can end very quickly with these boys.
You can just see Uffa going for it too. You know, you don't get paid for overtime in this sport, and he just wants to get this done quick.
He's got another bout coming up, and he don't want to wear himself out, so.
But he's not. No, referees.
This is getting close to outclassed very quickly.
And we talk about feeling the punches. It almost sounded like a gunshot went off when he started connecting there.
Yep.
Yeah, ready to go, he says to the referee. Remembering, if he gets another standing 8 in this round number 1, the referee will step in.
Sitivini.
I got a funny feeling this is not going to end well. It's going to be all over.
No, I think
Big body shots there from.
Big wide ones there. That's it.
No.
Oh,
it's all over.
It's over.
You know, like the thing that probably some people don't quite get is, even though it's an entertaining sport, we're not here entertaining the crowd when it comes to someone's health and safety. You know, the boxer comes first, regardless of bums on seats.
Well, of course, from the Shamrock Club, it was all over pretty quickly, round number 1. But yeah, as you say, as you'll see in this highlight package here, he took a couple of body shots, arms went down, and 3 or 4 beautifully landed.
Yep.
And you heard that last shot just connect so violently. It actually echoed throughout the stadium here today.
He's sort of head down to our ring announcer.
So it was a decision of that bout, ladies and gentlemen, with the referee stopping the contest in favour of the red corner, Uffa Mau.
Just a warm-up too there for Uffa, but really smartly played. And like you said, they're not here for the crowd's entertainment, even though that crowd was certainly entertained after that. Quick one-rounder. And for all those watching back home, I hope you enjoyed that. Short work there, but hat off to both boys for jumping in. It takes a lot of kudos, a lot of training and respect to these fighters to jump in today. Uffa moves forward now through to the semi-finals. Sitivini there out.
So we're just having
Ladies and gentlemen, a card was handed in outside.
So with
if
that being saying, with
a
the
bank card, can you come on over?
The boxes
and,
themselves,
explain to the ladies, and
it's all pretty full out.
It's certainly starting to fill up now. We've got just under 4 to 5 fights to go, and they're all going to be showstoppers moving forward.
So as we say, we're stepping up just in the weight again. We're sort of 81. This is the elite men novice, 81 kg.
Yeah, what we've noticed in the sport, there is.
We'll just cross. Sorry, Steve, just interrupt. We'll just cross down to our ring announcer, and she'll introduce us to our next 2 fighters.
Bout number 10 on the cards, ladies and gentlemen, is your elite novice, fought at 81 kilo. It is a 3 2-minute round. Fighting out of the red corner from Tauranga Boxing, let's welcome Penny here. His opponent in the blue corner from Shamrock Association, let's welcome Sefo Pauli. Your referee is Dale Jenkins.
So Penny won the novice Golden Gloves back in 2020. He's trained by Chris Walker. So final instructions again from the referee. I've got a funny feeling this one is going to be another quick one.
I was talking to Sefo earlier, Sefo Pauli, and I said, give me some nicknames, come on, talk it up. And they're just so humble, but always ready to rumble, these boys. I mean, once again, is this going to go 3 rounds? Not entirely sure. Both respectable gyms. Tauranga Boxing, Shamrock gyms. Everything's on the line here as they start sort of feeling each other out. They haven't started off with fireworks, but expect some soon.
Yeah, I noticed Sefo sitting down at one of the cafes this morning. Cafes in Taupo have been rather busy this morning and probably will continue for the weekend.
Yeah, a bit of peekaboo on this one. They're just trying to nut each other out and figure out just what one guy's doing this and one guy's doing that. You know, where's the hole, where's the spot, how can I create something?
Beautiful body shot. See that body shot come on that left hook. One shot can change it all. And with these more experienced fighters, they don't tend to come out wildly swinging. It's just not the way they usually kick off the fight. Would you agree on that one, Steve?
Yeah, look, we're all human and a little bit lazy, but we don't want to make it any harder than we need it. And if we're going to turn this thing into a brawl and the other guy's obliging, then you're thinking, well, I've got a bout later on if I win this. I don't want to completely blow myself out. And so, yeah, you're doing it as efficiently as you can. But then sometimes that goes out the window. You paddy up the other guy, he's fired up, and away it goes.
Sefo there in the blue, Penny there in the red. Like you said, a bit of a peekaboo game at this stage. I like it though how Sefo keeps sinking to the left, landing that body shot.
He's obviously finding a little spot there and liking how he can get it in.
We talk about throwing traps, laying traps. Sefo loves to dip to that left, and he is landing. He is landing it continuously. So whether Penny wants to drop his guard or move away from that, he keeps getting caught.
As they both these boxers similar in height and weight, there's only about half an inch in it between them. And they are well conditioned, aren't they?
Very well conditioned, 81 kilograms. These elite boys. It has gone the first round. You know, we probably need that after that previous fight that didn't even go the first round. I mean, the crowd were going crazy. We're seeing a bit more finesse, a bit more style. This is the sweet science of boxing.
Yep, definitely, you know, but who knows, you know, they're going to probably think, well, look, I didn't achieve a lot then. The other guy's probably thinking the same, you know, I might have to up the game a bit. So anything can happen.
Hope you're enjoying the coverage here at Sky Sport. Next, I have to say a big shout out to our camera crew. Production, it's you're getting to see every angle physically possible. I think there's about 9 or 10 cameras floating around this building at the moment, so we're covering. And hope you're enjoying it as much as we are enjoying it here live at the Great Lakes Centre in Lake Taupo.
Beautiful shots from both boys. They're not using too much of the ring. They're just sort of standing centre stage. But that's fine by me. In the pockets boxing, good for a change. See that Sefo is slightly the speedier of the two.
We're just speaking on the production side of this thing. We're so grateful that we've got a very, very experienced crew with these cameras. It puts a different perspective on about when you've got a fixed camera looking down on a ring. You know, these boys have got those cameras working in the corners, overhead, all around the place, and it really takes the action right in front of you. It makes it a lot more enjoyable to watch. And it's also good for us technically when we're looking at boxes as they're coming through. We're looking for ways we can improve them. You're right in there. You know, you're seeing everything you need to see. It's great.
Nice overhand right by Sefo.
Well, that's so true, Steve. The people at home have probably got a better view than us, ringside, because it's just so clear, the angles that they keep that changing and chopping. You can see everything.
Yeah, well, I'm watching the TV. It's too far from me, mate. I'm getting on a few years. It's a long way over there.
As we say, 30 seconds of round number 2. This is about 10 of 14 for the morning session, and we're back again about 6 o'clock tonight for another 14 odd bouts. And then a huge day tomorrow as well. So if you are in the Central Plateau area, even for Hawke's Bay, it's only an hour and 50 minutes across the hill. Come and enjoy some of the best amateur boxing. Oh, yeah.
Beautiful shot there to finish the round from Sefo. Just like I said earlier, he's a slightly speedier of the two, and he keeps landing those left hooks. Oh, a couple of shots
That was
there.
a little bit after the bell.
Just, yeah, made a point.
A little bit late.
Defend yourself at all times, what the old boys used to say.
What's the other rule? Don't turn your back.
Don't turn your back.
Like they say, right? If you get hit, it's your fault, not theirs. So you're right. You should sort of keep his guard up. But they were a bit late.
Yeah, there was a couple of half a second after the bell, and that's, you know, these boys are sharp. When that bell goes, they can, you know, like if there's a loose punch gone in there, really, there's not a lot of need for it.
That's why Sefo didn't actually throw, because he thought, you know, it's over. Beautiful shot there, though, from Penny. Finished the round. Maybe just, I want to sneak in a couple more.
So seconds have been asked to leave the ring.
As they say, the money round.
Money round.
I'd slightly put this in favour of Sefo, but I am liking what I'm seeing here from Penny as he sort of wakes up the ladder it goes.
Yeah, some of those punches aren't really connecting with the knuckle part of the gloves, so, you know, the power's not been transferred, and they shouldn't be scoring punches. You know, they should be scored if they aren't correctly thrown.
Nice shots there from Penny. Coming forward now, starting to move angles. Maybe Sefo had put a lot into the first and second, that he might be starting to, you know, run out a little bit of steam as we see Penny edge forward.
Sefo is trained by Terence Reid Bachelor out of the Mayhem Boxing.
Very prominent trainer. You know, he's trained many a champs. Giovanna, you've got, I'm just trying to remember the names now. Some of the fighters out of that gym. Even Jess, who's fighting later on this afternoon.
Ooh. That could have been
Devastating shots from both boys. As we get ready now for the 40-second clapper. Not too long to go. Liking what I see here from Penny in this third and final. Is it enough, though, to take away the decision?
Well, I think he's squeaking it.
both boys taking some pretty big breaths in to get those lungs working, because the oxygen deprivation beginning to show.
Yep. Big shots there again from Penny.
Not connecting though, more haymaker style.
Definitely feel that Penny's taken this one forward. But Retin-meyer done enough. But I don't want to say, because I haven't tried to call any fights yet. That's close.
Yeah, both boys gave it their all. I'm glad I'm not judging this.
Yeah, and of course, you look at it again, you're seeing a totally different thing what you saw in real time. You know, you see it again on a replay or slow motion, and you're thinking, oh, okay, that was a little bit different to what I thought I saw.
Which makes the judging even more difficult.
Definitely like what I saw though from Penny there in the third and final. Let's go now for...
So we're just waiting for the judges to give us the thumbs up that they've made their decision. So we see that being handed now to our ring announcer, so we'll head down to Charlie Moana Jenkins, and she'll announce the winners.
Decision of that, ladies and gentlemen, is a split decision. 2-3 to the blue corner.
Well, you called that, I'll give you that one. You called that right.
Sefo Pauli.
Sefo Pauli.
Like I said, always humble, ready to rumble. Sefo takes us away now through to the finals. But made it pretty tricky for him in that third and final, but well deserved with the win.
So we're going into our next one, which of course is a elite men's 81 kg. We've got Tyson Baker up against Joseph Reiner. One from Nabbies and the other one from Hip Pit.
Going to be another stylistic matchup, Hip Pit and Nabbies.
I wonder whether they're going to get as vocal as they did when they were in Porirua for the Nationals. Some of the entrances some of those boxers made into the ring for amateurs was absolutely brilliant to watch. And if you were watching it on Sky Sport Next, or in fact on Sky in the finals, it was very moving. So we'll head down to our ring announcer, and she will do the introductions of the next bout. No, she's not quite ready. All the boxers aren't. We'll just wait. So we'll cross down, as I say, to Charlie Moana Jenkins.
Bout number 11 on the cards, ladies and gentlemen, is another elite men novice. Weight division, fought out of the 81 kilos. It is a 3 2-minute round. Fighting out of the red corner from Nabby's Boxing, let's welcome Tyson Baker. His opponent in the blue corner from Hit Fitness Headquarters, Joseph Rayner.
You know, I loved Tyson Baker when he came to the ring. He gave us
Your
a
referee
smile.
is To Lomu.
He's blowing kisses. You know, to have that confidence so early on again is certainly something of a star.
Well, there's a bit of a height advantage to Joseph. He's 6'4", and he's up against Tyson Baker at 5'10". So there's a small advantage for Tyson. Sorry, for Joseph in the blue.
Yeah, but just like the formidable Mike Tyson, he always used his shortness or lack of height as an advantage to get underneath. And let's see if Tyson Baker can do that tonight against a very tall Joseph Rayner.
And of course, all the the power can come from those thighs.
Look, we're seeing to him utilise that reach. You know, we haven't seen too many fighters even get to do that today. And he's just moving angles, throwing punches downward, as Steve alluded to earlier. You've got to throw those punches downward. Nice looping left hook there. Just using that range beautifully to his advantage.
And that jab starting to come in as well. Spear's very light on his feet as well. He doesn't want to get tucked up in this corner though.
I mean, look at the way he throws the uppercut. He hardly has to do much because he's so tall. Trying to keep Tyson at bay now. Tyson coming in like an absolute Wolverine.
He's definitely using that reach and that uppercut. He's thrown that about 4 or 5 times in this first round.
Tyson's smiling as he comes in. He looks like a madman. Beautiful body shots there now. A little bit of redness over the left eye.
Yeah, and he's using that uppercut really, really well.
He almost throws it lazily, like he doesn't care, but it comes through with such vicious power. It's his reach, you know, he doesn't have to actually wind up like the shorter fighter. Again, big right hook. It just pierces it. See that uppercut always hit the roof.
I think what I'll do is I'm going to count this in the next round, number 2, and just see how many times he actually throws or attempts to, even if he doesn't connect on his uppercuts.
His shots are so long and looping, they almost carry him round when he throws them. Beautiful uppercut. Oh, again, he's just landing these shots at will.
Yeah, poor old Tyson, he's struggling with that reach.
He certainly is. And Joseph knows it. He's whether it's his style or the way he throws punches, they almost look like it's kind of a lazy exploitation of his height, but he just sort of looks like he's quite relaxed in there, Steve.
Yeah, I think he's just saying, look, just get out of here. Get out of here. Every time the shorter guy comes in, a bit of swatting a fly away.
I was going to say, I was thinking exactly the same thing, swatting a fly away. Just keep going.
But I wonder if he just actually taunted up and actually sort of threw. I don't know he's throwing them with power, but it looks like he just throws them in such a relaxed way. What would happen if he did throw a bit more into it?
Well, yeah, the timing and the positioning of the body and the feet and getting the timing right. You know, he's got the levers on him, you know, to put a bit of heat on it.
But the way he throws too, he just landed that right. So it's piercing the guard too of Tyson, and Tyson's really going to have to work hard to start even potentially putting some scores on doors to win rounds.
Yep.
He's going to have to get closer and probably work that body a bit, try and bring those hands down.
So I'm going to keep a record, gents. I'll just see how many times that uppercut's thrown.
Big right.
He probably won't throw it now.
Probably heard you. But look at the way he's just throwing those shots, keeping Tyson at bay. Can't get in. Tyson's having to walk forward, work so hard just to close that distance.
So these boys, of course, he's not throwing it as often as he was in round number 1, but we'll see. Joseph's coming forward. Told by the referee to keep his head up.
Joseph's starting to look a little bit worse for wear as well, so it's a fairly evenly contested bout.
Yeah, I would have given Joseph round number 1 though by far.
Nice shot landed there from Tyson. Starting to chase Joseph down now.
As he used tied up a lot of energy. Nice body shot there. But
oh, you're right, he landed it and to the head.
All good scoring shots.
Just tried to use a bit of a shoulder roll, but Tyson, I'm not going to take that.
That uppercut's working really well because of his height.
Yeah, you got to shut it down. You got to smother the guy so he can't get that shot away. Don't give him room. Shorten your punch up, throw it straight and acute. Hook over.
What I want to see Tyson doing more of those, just move those angles, because when he stays in front of him too long, he'll just launch the uppercut.
Yeah, not a lot of head movement.
So he needs to throw 1, 2, step out to the right or the left. Otherwise, he's just going to be a sitting duck. Oh, that body shot.
That may be the bout. Those ones can hurt.
I mean, I even winced in my chair. I could feel that all the way from here. And a body shot doesn't even come down to how tough you are. It's body mechanics. If you get hit hard enough, you're going down.
So he's been given the 8.
Yeah,
are you okay?
Have a look at him, give him a breather.
Yep.
Just make sure he's all good.
Keep it up. So he's lost the point there.
Okay, low blow. I didn't see it as
It was fringe. Oh, it was pretty borderline. I reckon it was on the belt. Or just on it. I wouldn't say below the belt, but close to. Tyson now coming forward. Yeah, it's like it's given a bit of venom.
We might see a good round 3.
Well, there were 12 uppercuts thrown in round 2, but I think in round 1 there was probably more like 22.
I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say about halfway. Yep. Yeah, right.
So he's beginning to tire and just feeling it a little wee bit. Of course, he's lost a point because of the low blow.
Yeah. It's discretionary. The judges don't have to take a point, if they didn't believe it was a low blow, but it's an indicator.
He's not getting that guard up. He's just, as I say, when Tyson comes in, just leaves himself a little bit more exposed.
Ooh, beautiful uppercut there. And the way he keeps finding a home for those punches,
Yeah, I didn't think that was that low.
No, that was a good punch. That was a good blow to the body.
Sometimes I suppose you could actually have yourself in that situation where if you feel it's close, you could turn around and go, just to give yourself a break and maybe...
I've seen some guys pull some pretty good stunts in there, taking a low blow, don't worry.
Well, I don't think he would have faked that one. Big shots again from Joseph.
Actually, I'll tell you what, though, he got caught back.
Tyson coming back with a few of his own. Nice left hook. We've got a war. We have a war on our hands.
Our third and final round between Tyson Baker and
he knows
Joseph
he's got a chance.
Oh, he's not giving in.
He's not giving in.
Throwing his own.
Got to love the heart, both these warriors. Another body shot then again from Joe. Oh, he lands one back from Tyson.
And stay away from the kidney reach.
Around the far ring there.
Well, they're tiring quickly, though.
Which can make it even more exciting at times because there's bigger gaps between the shots, bigger chances of getting up.
2 down, 1 to go. The crowd are going crazy.
Yeah, this sometimes is where technique goes out the window and it's just let him fly.
Tyson still looks like he wants to get in there, stand and bang. He is giving it to Joseph now, just trying to throw an uppercut.
I reckon that's one of his strong in his arsenal. He's using it a lot. Oh, he connected there nicely.
Who's going to take this last 30?
Referee's told him twice now not to use that elbow, and he's getting a little bit close to the wind with it.
Sucking in big breaths.
And to think one of these boys is going to go through. One of these boys is going to go through. They're going to be absolutely beat up.
They are struggling with this last 20 seconds to go in round number 3.
And this is the championship part of the round.
Well, you certainly got your money's worth for this one.
He's going, oh, come on, give me that last
10 seconds.
I've got to hold my breath for 10 seconds. Oh, swing and a miss.
Another big shot again from both boys.
Oh, well done.
Like you said, always good sportsmanship. Probably their mates after.
Yep. I would have to say, though, I'm going to go with Joseph because, I mean, he just seemed to have that, particularly in that first round. I think he put enough points there. Granted, he lost one in the second round, but I didn't really call that a low blow.
My head's on Joseph and my heart's with Tyson. I mean, come on, heart of a lion in that fight. He never
He didn't take
no.
a backward step.
Never quite.
Never.
I don't think he knows what the word means.
So the scorecard is being delivered to our ring announcer. So once I get the thumbs up, we'll wait for the call. So here we go.
Let's have another round of applause for these two young men. Well done. Decision of this bout, ladies and gentlemen, is a split decision. 3-1 in favour of the red corner.
Wow. Hey, I guess we all win in that sense because
Nabby's boxing.
I love the fight
Tyson
of
Baker.
Tyson Baker, and he's through. And he just proved that he's not quitting. So every fight's in the final there. They've got a tough night ahead of them.
Oh, absolutely. So we head down to our elite men's novice. This is 75 kg. We've got Ryan Cusack in the blue corner and Harry Hodges in the red. So those boxers will be coming into the ring very, very shortly. We hope you're enjoying our coverage, brought to you by Sky Sport Next. And as I say, we've got, 3 more bouts in this one. And then we'll be going for a wee break. And then heading into our evening session. So we'll head down to... Our boxers are just about coming into the auditorium as they get ready to go. Tell you what, Steve, you could need to get a bigger venue for next year, I think, if you are going to get more boxers coming in.
Yeah, well, like I alluded to earlier on, we do need to look at splitting this event now into novices and open, and that will probably be the future of it.
Okay, let's go down to Charlie Moana Jenkins and introduce our next fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to bout number 12 on the cards. It is another elite novice 75 kg weight division, 3-minute rounds. Fighting out of the red corner from Nabby's Boxing, let's welcome Harry Hodges. His opponent in the blue corner from Shamrock Association, Ryan Cusack. Your referee, Tohu.
So referees, of course, all volunteers coming down for the boxing here at the Great Lakes Centre in Taupo. So these are 3 2-minute rounds, as you would have just heard. This is the elite men's novice, 75 kg. Harry Hodges up against Ryan Cusack, getting their final instructions. And again, we hope you are enjoying the coverage as much as we're enjoying sitting here and looking at some great amateur boxing.
It's going to be a stylistic matchup. I've seen Ryan fight before. Don't let the shortness fool you. He's very elusive, very sneaky, and very speedy. He'll work around the ring, he'll pull traps, and he'll do a few things that you won't expect him to do.
As you say, aggressive. He's trying to control that centre of the ring.
Harry Hodges, though, jeepers, that speed. Speed kills, and the way he pumps out those jabs like pistons is something that Ryan's going to have to be careful of.
He's leaving that. I just feel he's just, I'm talking about Harry Hodges, he just seems to leave that chin a little bit exposed in my looking at it at this early part of round number 1.
He's probably confident in his height and reach, but yeah, keep your chin down.
Ryan Cusack there coming down with a barrage of punches. Like I said, he's very elusive. Moves in a really freakish, wild, characteristically boxer, old Ryan Cusack, the way he moves around.
So these boys are both weighing in at around 75 kg. Harrison Hodges, of course, is out of Navy's gym. He's trained by Dion. He was interesting. Harrison was the Aussie Golden Gloves, Australian Golden Gloves in 2018. So he's
no slouch.
He's been around a while.
He's no slouch, and Ryan's had a few of his own, so they wouldn't have put him in against a pushover. And we're certainly seeing that Harry Hodges is very sharp, moves well, using his reach. Ryan's really having to work hard to score those points.
Yeah, these boys are, as you say, they're well conditioned, they're trained well. And of course, you know, to have a Golden Gloves title on your name, Steve, that stands for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, it's the Golden Gloves. You know, it's a worldwide, world-renowned tournament. You know, in America, the Golden Gloves in each individual state. You know, they're big events. That's the one they want to be at. And of course, we've seen, look at what we've discussed before, unprecedented entries, and what really surprised me was in the heavier weights. I mean, Lord knows how many heavyweights we would have had here if we hadn't have had to make a cut.
So we head into round number 2. These are 2-minute rounds. Harrison or Harry Hodges in the red corner up against Ryan Cusack in the blue. I'd give that one pretty much even in round number 1.
You know, we've got a former Golden Gloves champ here there in red, but Ryan saying, hey, I don't care about that Golden Glove strap, I'm going to come forward, I'm going to take it to you.
Yeah, Harry's controlling things quite nicely though.
Beautiful jabs there now coming out, just peppering Ryan
slipping
there.
in, slipping out, he's using his feet well.
And you can see he's scoring well too. Of course, the camera is probably the light is not showing it that well, but you know, Ryan's starting to show a bit of not redness in the face, not
Wear and tear.
yeah. He's starting to know he's been clipped a few times.
It's interesting too, because Ryan's the aggressor, but it's actually not working out for him because of the way Harry Hodges moves. He's walking into a lot of punches. He can't ever catch Hodges. He will at times, but Hodges is a slick mover, you know, the way he just steps back, uses that jab.
And he's not engaging, he's picking his spots.
The coverage brought to you by Sky Sport Next, and of course you can follow us on Facebook.
Facebook, YouTube, get on there, share it with your friends.
Yeah.
Insta, like this is an event that anyone around the world can watch, and we hope you're all enjoying it back home.
Yeah, you say he's very measured, isn't he? He is absolutely really measured, Harry. Harrison, he's not rushing it.
And you just saw him just land a barrage of punches, then step off to an angle. Ryan didn't even know where to go. Look, he just basically took the punches and then looked to where he was, and he wasn't there. We're seeing a lot of skill here from Harry Hodges.
We keep talking about it. That height advantage can be, you know, massive at times. Oh, beautiful right hand uppercut.
Yeah, height and reach, very hard things to come up against.
So we've got 2 more bouts to go and the what we call the afternoon session. We've got Kingston Tohu coming up shortly up against Rhys Retin-meyer. So a couple of young lads. Well, and when I say young, they are young, but they've not in weight, 92 kg.
Yeah, big boys. And like, yeah, there's a lot of heavies for this tournament, isn't there, Steve? Yeah, it sounds like you have an inundated amount of heavies for this tourney.
New Zealand has always produced good big heavyweight boxers, and you know, it's like, you know, we've got a couple in the Naki boys, you know, 14 turning 15, and they're 100 odd kilos, you know, and well over 6 foot, and they haven't started growing.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Here we go, Harry Hodges there in the red, former Golden Gloves Aussie champ against Ryan Cusack representing Shamrock. Also got Chucky in his corner, very good boxer who's now fighting professionally.
That's Harry's got to fight this one.
Good combination. He's got to get out. He's got to get himself
mess
out
him
of
up.
there.
Yeah, mess him up as much as you can. Take away all that slick style, mess him up. And it's hard to do because you've got to get your feet in between the other guy's feet and you've got to hold him there.
Beautiful shots here now from Ryan. He actually waited on a few punches too before he threw.
He realises, I think, he's probably behind her in points. So he says, as you say, the make or break round number 3. Let's get in there, mix it up. But is he going to blow out too much energy with just over a minute to go in this round?
And if you can push a guy about on the back foot, he's not going to develop power walking backwards. You know, so if you can back him up and keep your aggression on the guy, it certainly can pay dividends.
So he's done it again. He's got him up against the rope, but can he actually make it count? He's walking into some lovely punches by Harry. Hodges.
I don't think Harry's too bothered being on the ropes either at the moment.
No, he doesn't appear to be. He hasn't sort of flinched at any stage.
Yeah, he just looks so cool, calm, collected, and you can't
totally
ever say that someone will win on their appearance, but you know, he's just looking so relaxed right now. Ryan's obviously having to really work for it, and Ryan's just sort of operating on cerebral pace now that he looks like he's going to cruise through to the finish of the next final.
Just over 20 seconds to go, and of course we wait for the clap of 10, and then the fireworks traditionally begin. How much juice have you still got in your tank with the 10 seconds to go in this final round? Bout number 12.
I think you've got to give it to Ryan. He's had a go. No doubt about that.
Totally agree with that one, Steve. There's a couple of good up-and-coming young boxers as we were witnessing here at the Golden Gloves for 2021 here at Great Lakes Centre in Taupo. As I've said, this is on again tonight and again tomorrow. So if you want to come down and look at some live boxing, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, stay tuned to Sky Sport next, as you get some of the best seats in the house.
And you never know, you might be watching one of our Commonwealth Games medal winners next year.
So we'll head down to our ring announcers because the results have just been handed to Charlie. So she'll make the announcement.
Decision of this bout, ladies and gentlemen, is a unanimous decision, and it goes to the red corner from Nabby's Boxing.
There you have it. Harry Hodges. On his way to the final. I bet you whoever's watching this in that division will be watching with very eager eyes, because they know they'll be facing a champ, and it's going to be a very good fight in the final.
Now, I was talking to a couple of boxers this morning, and they said, and this is all to do with Sky Sport Next, they were able to go back to their motel, their accommodation last time, and then they could see the fight that their opponent, even if they didn't actually see it in Porirua. They were going back to their motels and sort of studying what was going on and thinking, okay, how am I going to beat this guy? So awesome, Sky Sport Next. We can be able to let you know that if you're sitting at home, you can be an armchair critic as well as an armchair referee.
Yep, well, we've given the boys more tools to study, and they can pull these videos apart. They can keep playing them over and over.
Now we're into some big boys as well. These elite men's novices at 92 kg. We've got Kingston Tohu up against Rhys, Retin-meyer. So we'll head down to our ring announcer, and she can do the introductions for us.
Let's have boxers the ringside.
So these are the bigger units, as we would call them. I wouldn't say it directly to their face.
I mean, jeepers, look how these guys are big.
Yeah.
They weigh in at 92, but they're probably walking around 100 or over.
I remember when we were in Wellington and David came up and sat beside us, and I sort of went, uh-oh.
Yeah, he's very tall, David, isn't he? He's got a big physique on him. He's a very, very well-built athlete.
And if you look at Kingston Tohu in the red corner, I mean, look at the shoulders on him. You probably don't get it on this camera angle at the moment, but he's a big unit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to bout number 13 on the cards, your second to last for this first session. It is a novice 92 kilo weight division, a 3 2-minute rounds. In your red corner from Palmerston North, let's welcome Kingston Tohu. His opponent in the blue corner from Nabbies, let's welcome Rhys Retin-meyer.
So Rhys has had a win of 5 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws. Oh, sorry, 5 total. He's had 3 wins and 2 losses. And Kingston's had the 1 win, but 8 losses, but he's got the Manawatu title.
Of course, these boys, when we say 92 kilos, they're over 92.
Yeah, so Rhys has actually got an advantage. He's 115 kilos. Kingston is 103, so there is a slight...
I say these boys are massive. Big boys, thicker than a Snickers, and they are going to stand and bang. Is this going to go through rounds? I don't know, because all the heavyweight fights we're seeing so far are not going the distance.
Well, Rhys landed a lovely straight jab, which sort of connected beautifully on the chin of Kingston.
Rhys there in the blue, Kingston in the red.
Both orthodox boxers.
Both the same height too, you know, we're not seeing too much disadvantage, apart from potentially the record, but like you said, he's got a Palmerston North title.
Yeah, but if you ever look at Rhys too, he's standing a lot more square. He's cutting that angle down. So Kingston's standing almost face on.
Very low guard there too from Rhys. I mean, not good if Kingston wants to throw a right hook, but is he going to be quick enough and be able to catch Rhys?
Yeah, see, he's just shortening up that distance again.
Yeah, if you can just cross over and get between the legs, you know, you're shortening it right up. If you're on the outside of the front foot, of course, it's a lot more awkward. And that's the idea. If the guy wants to get, you know, to create some room, then he's got to get outside your front foot and get the body around sideways a bit more, present the shoulder more.
Potentially too, Rhys may not either, this may be his style, he might not respect the power here of Kingston. He may not have felt it yet, so that's why his guard's so low, but I'm sure as soon as he gets clocked, he'll keep that guard a bit higher.
Yeah.
Usually a good hint.
Shook his head. Some say that's usually a sign it did or it didn't hurt. You just never know. But saying that these boys are over 90, every shot landed clean is going to hurt. Nice shots here now from Kingston to finish the round.
He was quite focused then.
Happy to move forward. Round number 1 complete.
I like the way Kingston finished. You know, Rhys had the lower guard and was throwing more shots, but Kingston certainly fired up there at the end.
Of course, Kingston out of the Palmerston North area.
Rhys certainly the slicker of the two, you know, he's moving around pretty comfortably, looks very composed as he moves around, landing shots at will, but I think Kingston took him off guard with that barrage of punches at the end.
Yeah, I thought the crowd would start getting a little more vocal. I think they might be saving their tonsils till later in the evening. And,
well, they've been pretty crazy so far with some of the fights. This fight too, the pace is a little bit slower, and potentially they might not have as many supporters. You know, Palmerston North, you certainly see certain gyms bring the heat, they bring the crowd.
so seconds have been asked to remove themselves as we get into round number 2. It's a 2-minute round.
Rhys there in the blue, Kingston in the red. Kingston certainly finished the round very strong. Let's see if he can start off strong now and take it to Rhys. As Rhys has that sort of low guard made with the shuffle. Nice overhand right now.
As I say, if you look at the way Rhys is, his actual physical position up against Kingston, Kingston seems to be more front on. He's leaving himself open to both.
Yeah, 100%. Like the way Rhys moves forward, he's standing on much more of an angle, whereas you're right, Kingston stands straight on, quite flat-footed.
Yeah, so he's
more of a target.
Yeah, there's more to actually aim for.
Yeah, I think Kingston, he may, I think he's, well, sorry, when you look at the bout records, you know, Kingston, he's got, well, you could say you may have losses on your record, but it doesn't mean that you haven't had the experience.
Oh, no, and exactly right, because, I mean, a losses could be a split decision as opposed to a unanimous loss. So some of these bouts, he just Rhys managed to get a nice overhead right onto Kingston Tohu.
That's the thing, right? It's not his first rodeo, and every fight you learn something. You've been under the bright lights. It gives you that much more experience. Just as I say that, though, Rhys has certainly given him an experience in the ring now. Big shots, and these boys are heavy. These boys are heavy. These shots are starting to take their toll. It's starting to pay dividends. Another big shot there from Rhys. Left shot. Don't leave your guard low. You're going to get clocked.
Probably made a bit of the Stars bounce back a little bit.
Yeah, I think Kingston's got to keep that chin down.
Yeah. He could wear it.
He did get caught there, though, by Kingston. Kingston is busy. Throwing a lot of volume, but Rhys's shots are counting, you know, thus scoring. Comes forward now. Quite unassuming too. Moves very well for a heavyweight, you know, very slick, good on his feet. Throws that shoulder up high so a shot can't come overhand. Doesn't really get caught too much by Kingston.
No, but Kingston's, as I say, he's just, because he's standing so front on, he's just getting tapped on. If he gets his angles differently, might be able to protect himself a little bit more.
Yep. I think he's certainly done better in the first round than the second round. So maybe he can make the adjustments required in this round, because
third and final,
Rhys is coming on.
Oh, we almost forgot the mouth guard. That's how keen Rhys is to get in there. He almost forgot the one that's going to protect the teeth. And they better wear that, because they're not wearing headgear in this one.
There's been fights where we've actually witnessed them almost running into the middle of the ring to sort of compete. So as I say, this is the third and final round.
Rhys just stalking him now. You know, like we said, Kingston is busy, but he just seems to be walking into a lot of punches and standing quite flat-footed straight on. That leaves it easy picking there for Rhys.
Yeah, I'd be telling Kingston, you've got to back his guard, mate. You just give him a little bit too much to work with.
In saying that, sorry, Kingston's taken a few hits and hasn't really, I mean, it's hit him, but it hasn't really even too much stunned or wobbled him. He can take a shot.
Yeah, there's a few slappy hooks going on, so he's not really connecting flush.
But as you say, if you wear one, your guard comes up quicker.
I don't think I'd want to take one of those slap hooks, to be honest.
No,
that hurt.
That would have.
He felt that.
But he just keeps going. He's got a ticker on him. I mean, what is this guy made of? What is Kingston made of?
The referee's letting the fight go. He doesn't see anything too damaging to these.
Still
he doesn't want to be there for the next 30 seconds, I can assure you of that. He'll be a bit battered and bruised tonight. Nice overhand right, followed by a nice body shot too. You got 115 kg coming at you.
If I wanted someone to go to war with, I think I'll be choosing Kingston, though, because he just doesn't go down. He's indestructible.
He just keeps coming forward.
Keeps throwing. Keeps rocked, but he's not wobbled. Keeps throwing. I reckon he can carry on.
Oh, well done. I think there's a lot of mutual respect going on there. Some big, deep breaths being taken by both fighters. Kingston Tohu in red up against Rhys Retin-meyer in the blue corner. We've got one more fight to come in this afternoon session. Sally Oldenhaven is up against Elijah Mercury. So again, that's an elite men's novice, 92 kg. Tell you what, judges have made their decision. I don't think there was too much delay in that.
What I'm looking for, though, is for Rhys to fight some under pressure. I want to see him against a heavyweight that's going to bring it and move a bit more dynamic and be aggressive.
So we'll let the seconds sort the corners out while the boxes have been brought back. We'll head down to our ring announcer to make what the judges have decided will be the winner of this bout.
Decision of this bout, ladies and gentlemen, is a unanimous decision in favour of the blue corner, Rhys Retin-meyer.
There you go.
There you have it, your winner, Rhys, and he might be facing Uffa, if I'm correct. We'll see how more heavyweights go, but that's what I said, Uffa versus Rhys. What a fight that would be.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the entries in that division, how the numbers are playing out, but remember at this event we may not find an actual winner in some of these divisions because there's so many entries and we're going to have to split them into categories.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all to do with the boxers now not being able to box within a 12-hour period. And so it's a new rule that's been kind of sat on our sport. A bit of a story behind it, but
breaking my heart over here.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it could happen, but he also may be matched with someone else, and it could be an A and a B winner in that division.
All right, we've got our last fight for the afternoon session. We'll head down to Charlie Moana Jenkins to announce our next two boxers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the last bout of the first session. Bout number 14 is Elite Novice 91 plus weight division. 3 2-minute rounds. From the red corner out of River City Boxing, let's welcome Saleh Aldihaver. His opponent in the blue corner from Peaches Boxing, Elijah Mercury.
Don't have a lot of information on either of these two boxers.
The referee is Sunita Lalu.
But they are big boys, but not taking anything unfairly from our referee.
Saleh there in the red, Elijah in the blue. I mean, look, they came in at 92 kilograms, but they're well over. These are massive boys, and there's going to be some bombs thrown in this bout. Look at the size.
Well, Elijah is at 116 kg.
Yeah, out of Peaches, Jim. Definitely, he's getting plenty of sparring. That's the advantage in the bigger cities. You know, there's a lot of sparring. And of course, from Wanganui, you know, you don't see a lot of it, so you're up against it a little bit when you come to an event like this.
But Saleh not making it easy for him. I mean, I know he's in a strong gym, and Peach Boxing, you know, they've got some amazing fighters. David Light, Pampaloon, the Maniac, Andrei Mikhailovich.
So Saleh's taken a couple to the nose, a little bit of claret just starting to appear. So Elijah's actually managed to connect quite early in this round.
I mean, look at these guys are just huge. Like we said, 92 kilograms. Both boys well over 100.
You can hear it through the effects mics that these boys are not mucking around. Though some of those body blows are quite exceptionally powerful.
Once again, too, this is a stacked division. I mean, so many heavyweights. Here's Saleh coming forward now.
Only takes one shot, you know, and he's going to have his go.
That's the thing too, right? If you throw shots at someone as hard and fast as you can, they still don't go down. It does take a bit of confidence away from you. You think, why isn't this guy going down? I've thrown my best at you.
It can be very frustrating at times, especially when you just want to get out of there.
It's a long 2 minutes, Steve. A long 2 minutes.
Yeah, these are threes, mate. These big boys.
And I mean, don't let a book, you know, never judge a book by its cover. Even though Elijah's in, you know, superb physical shape, Saleh's not making it easy for him.
That was a good shot above the eye. Yeah, he didn't like that. No, on the 10.
Big shot there from Elijah.
That was basically the fight there. That was
saved by the bell, I think, on that one.
Definitely.
Because I think if he didn't, he almost stumbled to the ground on that last punch. It really hurt him. I think his corner's having a very close look at him and asking him. We can actually sort of almost overhear what he's saying. You watch to this, it's almost the last punch of this round. He staggered him.
One shot, mate, I'd be out on a stretcher.
I wouldn't get in there. Full stop. You know, you'd have to put me in a straitjacket on a stretcher, so I don't even get in there.
Let's be honest, this heavyweight division, I mean, every fight's been great today, but this heavyweight division is dangerous. I mean, every single guy that we've seen come out tonight is here for a war and here to finish it. They're not even wanting these fights to go the distance.
No.
And I don't think this one is going to. I mean, that last shot that finished the round was hard, and Sully was wobbling back to the corner.
That's another one that should have been made count.
You know, and when the fighter starts looking down or away, it's never a good sign. They should be staring at the other fighter, trying.
Although he did connect nicely with an overhead right.
He did. Elijah didn't like that.
No,
Bit of taste of his own medicine. You know, you can dish it out, but can he take it?
As you say, it only takes that one punch, Steve, isn't it? And especially in this weight division.
Yes, one punch. Yes, all it.
Big shot again from Sully. I like it how he's coming back here. You know,
But no,
not sure what happened there.
he got caught.
Not sure what was happening there. A bit of a wave and then a count.
No, he walked into that one. Now the referee should be right on this now. He's just been clipped. The referee's got to be right on the game.
No, she's called it.
Okay, good to see.
That's it.
I think his nose is giving him. I think he might have broken his nose.
Ouch.
Which
And the ref
is
knows well. You know, she can see. We can't quite see the nose on this angle, but it could be crushed. It could be broken.
That one there, I think, was the one that done the damage, and then it got hit again. The short blow in one of these exchanges.
Well, we hope you've been enjoying the coverage here at Sky Sport Next from the Great Lakes Centre in Taupo for the 2021 Golden Gloves Championship. So we'll just wait for the boxes to be brought into the ring. So the decision has been made. Just waiting for that to get the official notification. Just remember, we'll be back on air at Sky Sport Next. So let's head down to our ring announcer to find the result.
Decision of this bout, ladies and gentlemen, as the referee stopped the contest in favour of the blue corner, Elijah Mercury.
Well, as you say, that needed to happen because I think, as you say, we keep saying it. I don't care how often we say it. It's 100% about safety. So this is the first session over and done with. I tell you what, Isaac, I enjoyed every single bout.
Hey, if we learned anything, the heavyweight division is stacked and there's going to be some absolute showstopper fights ahead. I can't wait.
Fireworks for you, Steve, tonight.
Well, there's going to be, I don't know, it's 15, 14, I think there might be 16 bouts tonight.
I don't care, we'll be
And
into it.
yeah, no, and if they're as good as this, it's only getting better.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the coverage we've been providing to you here on Sky Sport Next. We'll be back again for the evening session at the Golden Gloves Championship for 2021.